96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. The GBPA firing back, the port disputing the Prime Minister's claim that it owes the Treasury money. But PLP Chairman Fred Mitchell says the GBPA making a serious mistake challenging the PM. And Keith Bell says he was just honoring the request of a dying man with that citizenship in a funeral situation. That's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Wednesday, June 28th, 2023. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Once again, I am Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Chester Robards will be joining us. Also this morning, we'll tell you about Regional HIV Testing Day and their theme, I Test 242. What do you need to know about that and HIV and AIDS in the Bahamas? And later in business, we're talking about a new movie, a local movie, The Real Betrayal. The premiere just a couple of days away now. We'll give you all the details about that. But first, it's time for the Overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, a day after Prime Minister Philip Davis announced in Parliament that the government is going after the Grand Bahama Port Authority for monies he said are owed to the public treasury, GBPA firing back in a strongly worded statement saying it contests the Davis administration's claims and accused the government of being in breach of the Hawkesbury Creek Agreement, which is, quote, held Freeport back. The GBPA said it felt the need to respond to licensees, residents, and foreign direct investors as they've raised significant concerns about the uncertainty created by the Prime Minister's comments. Speaking during the wrap-up of the budget debate, the Prime Minister pointed out the issues and said the government had begun to invoice the Port Authority for the reimbursable expenses. But the port, which is the municipal authority in Freeport, established under the Hawkesbury Creek Agreement, said that the agreement contains commitments on both the part of the GBPA and the Bahamas government. It said, quote, the projects mentioned by the Prime Minister, specifically healthcare, education, the airport, and the Grand Lucine Hotel, are actually government commitments, not GBPA commitments under the HCA. Further, government's claims that the matters are contested under the Hawkesbury Creek Agreement. It said that the Port Authority is yet to be satisfied that the government's purported claims, which have lain dormant for more than 50 years, are justified and supported by credible evidence. The report also said it was an anomaly to ask the GBPA to fund the Ministry of Grand Bahama. Meanwhile, PLP Chairman Fred Mitchell said that the Grand Bahama Port Authority is making a serious mistake in challenging the Prime Minister. Mitchell's video message came on the same day that the Port Authority released that statement. Mitchell, who's also Minister for Foreign Affairs, said that he was shocked by the Grand Bahama Port Authority and the, quote, temerity to issue the statement to challenge the Prime Minister in public over this. He said they know that what the facts are with regard to their own situation. They simply do not have the money to carry the city where it needs to go. In other news, Immigration Minister Keith Bell dismissing criticism over his decision to swear in a woman and her children as citizens during her husband's funeral on Saturday. A recording of the swearing-in has been shared on social media. Bell, who responded to questions from reporters at the Office of the Prime Minister, said he honored the wishes of a dying man. He says, quote, the deceased was an honorable individual. He served this country with distinction for a number of years. I think that it was shameful and disgraceful the way in which certain personalities have sought to portray this. The issuance of a certificate of citizenship in this country is not the beginning of a process, it is the end. Bell explained that when a person seeks citizenship in the country, they must first make an application with the Department of Immigration, and that there's a rigorous process involved. Due diligence is exercised. And he says once that's done and the file is prepared, a recommendation is made to the minister. He says then the matter is taken to the Immigration Board, which is the cabinet of the country. In this case, the cabinet approved the spouse and the children for citizenship. He said, quote, I emphasize that the issuance of a certificate is the end result, not the beginning of the process. I would ask for all right-thinking Bahamians to allow this mother, this wife, and these children to mourn the passing of their father in peace. And Economic Affairs Minister Michael Alquita is shying away from expressing any extensive views on the deal entered into by the previous administration for the Nassau Cruise Port, saying only that the government has to live with the deal. Asked his views on the deal, Alquita said, quote, it's a deal done by the previous administration. Governments are continuous. We are bound by it, so we have to live with it. Alquita did not comment on whether he thought the deal was a good one or a bad one. And a businessman accused of importing 10 guns and 104 rounds of ammunition into the country through his courier company granted $30,000 bail. Rolando Thomas, who had been in custody since his arrest on June 20th, has to report to the East Street South police station 4 times a week until his trial, which is set for July 24th through 28th. Chief Magistrate Joanne Ferguson Pratt denied a request from the prosecution to have Thomas outfitted with an ankle monitor, as she said wearing the device might affect his business. Prosecutors alleged that the 42-year-old brought the weapons from Florida into the Bahamas on June 20th. Thomas denied charges of conspiracy to import firearms, conspiracy to import ammunition, importation of firearms, firearm possession with intent to supply, and ammunition possession with intent to supply when he made his initial appearance before Chief Magistrate Joanne Ferguson Pratt on Monday. Thomas's lawyer Bjorn Ferguson said the married father of 3 was a fit candidate for bail since he had no pending matters or previous convictions. Overseas, France's government today announcing heightened police presence around Paris and other big cities, calling for calm. After scattered violence erupted over the death of a 17-year-old delivery driver who was shot and killed during a police check. The death prompted nationwide concern and widespread messages of indignation and condolences, including from soccer star Kylian Mbappe. It also triggered unrest in multiple towns around Paris. The Interior Minister said 31 people have been arrested, 25 police officers injured, and 40 cars burned in overnight unrest. The tensions focused around the Paris suburb of Nanterre, where lawyers say 17-year-old Naël M. was killed Tuesday during a traffic check. The police officer suspected of firing on him was detained and faces potential manslaughter charges, according to the prosecutor's office. The Nanterre neighborhood where Naël lived remained tense Wednesday morning, with police on guard and burned car wreckage and overturned garbage bins still visible in some areas. Naël's mother appealing online for silent march on Thursday in her son's honor near the death scene. Videos purported to be of the incident were, quote, extremely shocking, according to one government official who pledged a full investigation. The images show two police officers leaning into the driver's side window of a yellow car before the vehicle pulls away and as one officer fires into the window. The car is later seen crashing into a post nearby. In sports, Bahamas continue its performances of the 24th edition of the Central American and Caribbean Games in El Salvador. Swimming, sailing, and judo on the calendar. Bahamian swimmer Luke Kennedy Thompson kicked off action for the country in the 400 meters freestyle. He powered through the middle distance race to clock 4:10.33, placing 6th in Heat 2. He placed 12th overall in preliminaries to qualify for the B final last night. Teenager Anishka Gibbs swimming in her second race in the competition. The 100-meter butterfly, Gibbs finished 8th in her race in a time of 1:08.34, 22nd overall. Gibbs making the final in the 50-meter breaststroke Monday morning, set to swim in the A final later that night. Due to thunderstorms in the area, her race was postponed to a later date. Read more about how the team's doing in today's Guardian Sports section. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. First, a good weather brought to you by Nescafe Coffee. We've got a mid to upper level trough just north of the islands. That's going to continue to enhance shower activity, mainly across the northwest and portions of the central Bahamas. Boaters should be alert for possible waterspouts. Localized flooding, again possible in flood-prone areas during heavy and or prolonged rainfall events. And everybody's being urged to remain hydrated and limit outdoor activities due to possible heat exhaustion from triple-digit heat indices again today. Your forecast for the northwest and central Bahamas: partly sunny, hot, and humid with a chance of isolated showers and thunderstorms. Small craft should be alert for gusty winds and higher seas in or near showers and thunderstorms. Winds in the northwest Bahamas variable at 10 knots or less. In the central Bahamas, easterly at 10 knots or less, falling light and variable at times. Seas 1 to 3 feet. For the southeast Bahamas, mostly sunny, hot, and humid today with a slight chance of isolated showers, mainly this afternoon. Small craft should be alert for gusty winds and higher seas in or near showers and thunderstorms. Winds easterly at 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet. Temperature-wise, right now it's about 80 degrees under fair skies, light rain in some parts of New Providence. We're looking at highs getting up to 92 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius today, but the heat index will make it feel like it's 105 Fahrenheit, 40 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. That's the first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a bit. This first look at weather brought to you by Nescafe Coffee. Elevate your coffee experience with Nescafe Gold.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
It's time for break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
It's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
I'm Lasagna Mizik, Managing Director of RBC Royal Bank Bahamas, with some big news that will elevate your debit card experience. RBC's new Visa debit chip card will soon be here. To make things easier for you, we're offering free FedEx delivery when you validate your contact details. No need to wait in line. We'll bring the card straight to you. Call 356-8500. Select option 7 for Visa Debit Direct Line and update your delivery address. Our team is available weekdays between 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Take advantage of the security and convenience of chip and PIN technology. Free delivery is for a limited time, so act now.
Alive believes loyalty is not without its rewards. We're offering you a summer full of deals to say thanks for sticking with us. Enjoy free roaming, free data, cash back, and more incredible deals. With the certified fastest network in the country and top-rated service, Alive gives you something worth holding on to. Hold on to the best in the business. Alive. Believe, invest. Terms and conditions apply.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
The Access Accelerator Small Business Development Center is here to help small businesses throughout the entire Bahamas. To better serve you, we've made it easier to contact us. Call 461-7232, WhatsApp 359-0626 or 359-2394, email helpdesk@spdcbahamas.com, or submit a ticket when you visit our help center at accessaccelerator.org. The Access Accelerator, empowering small business.
Bahama Rock! It's Bahama Rock! It's time to rock to the best in Bahamian music. Bahama Rock, the national all-Bahamian concert, takes place this Saturday at the Westin Esplanade, starting at 6 p.m., featuring our Grammy Award-winning Bahamen, along with a cast of the best in Bahamian entertainment. Bahama Rock! Come out and celebrate with all your favorite Bahamian entertainers live on stage this Saturday, July 1st. To get your free tickets, log on to www.celebrate-bahamas.com or check out Celebrate Bahamas on Facebook.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line, powered by BTC, 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me once again this week, 2 times this week, Chester Robards.
Good morning.
Great to have you with us.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed your birthday.
I did.
After you left us.
I did.
That's great.
Right after I left you.
Not before that. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you had a good time. So you got up early, so you got to experience more of your birthday than had you slept in late.
No, my wife took me for breakfast, and we had an enjoyable time.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
Good. I'm happy.
Thank you, baby.
Okay. Are you talking to Amanda?
Yes.
Right. Of course. All right. So now, it's just weird. It was weird. All right. Coming up this morning, we are going to be talking about Regional HIV Testing Day. That's coming up, and we'll get details about
Regional.
that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we're part of that because we're in the region.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And then later we have a preview of a new movie, The Real Betrayal. That is premiering June 30th. That's
a movie.
Friday, yeah. Mm-hmm.
A local movie.
Yes.
Oh.
And we've got some of the cast members coming.
Ooh.
And some of the people behind it. So we're going to meet them today.
You sure they come in?
Yes.
Okay.
Why would you say that?
Just hope they don't betray you.
This guy. Always on. Always on, boy. Okay. That would be real. Mm-hmm. That would be real. All right. So that's all straight ahead. But let's begin with what else is in the news. In the news, 2 big stories. The Grand Bahama Port Authority firing back at the Prime Minister's claims that they owe the government and the Treasury money, and Fred Mitchell is barking right back at them. Right, see, that's how it feels, right? Right back at them. That's big. And then there's Keith Bell, who's explaining his actions.
Did he explain that?
So sort of. Let's begin with Keith Bell, then we'll get to the Port Authority. How about that? Yeah. All right. So because this is dragging on, and it's not getting. Is it getting better? Is it making more sense, or is it getting worse? I'm not too sure. But we've been talking about this for a couple of days. First day we didn't know anything about it, but then we found out more about it. Heard the audio.
Yep. So it's true.
Just bizarre in many ways. But take a listen to this report from our Paige McCartney.
Saying he was fulfilling the wishes of a dying man, Minister of Immigration Keith Bell this morning dismissed criticism over his decision to grant citizenship to a woman and her children during a funeral over the weekend. A recording of the act recently made the rounds on social media, prompting criticism from former Immigration Minister Brent Simonet, who called Bell's actions improper. Bell told reporters before Cabinet this morning that the man called to him from his hospital bed and indicated that he had hoped to witness his wife and children become Bahamian citizens, but died before that could happen.
I honored the wishes of a dying man, a Bahamian, and he has 2 children who were born in the Bahamas, and he has a wife. And the spouses of Bahamians are entitled to citizenship under our Constitution. The same applies to children born in the Bahamas, and you would take note of the recent Privy Council decision which affirmed that position, that the children who are born in the Bahamas to Bahamian man are entitled to citizenship. As it relates to my action, I would say this. Frank, the deceased, he was an honorable individual. He served this country with distinction for a significant number of years. And I think that it was shameful and disgraceful the way in which certain personalities have sought to portray this.
Bell added that the granting of citizenship is the end of a very rigorous application process in which due diligence is exercised.
When a person seeks citizenship in this country, they must first of all make an application to the Department of Immigration. A rigorous process is involved in that process. Due diligence is exercised, and once that is done, the file is prepared. A recommendation is made to the minister. That matter is then taken to the Immigration Board, which is the Cabinet of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. In this particular case, the Cabinet of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas approved the spouse and the children for citizenship. And so I emphasize that the issuance of a certificate is the end result, not the beginning of a process. I would ask for all right-thinking Bahamians to allow this mother, this wife, and these children to mourn the passing of their father in peace.
Simonet called for Bell to resign, saying that a funeral was not an appropriate location to grant citizenship. Bell had this to say in that regard.
Well, the fact of the matter is, any place that can be done any place. And as I indicated before, and you'd have seen in a note that I'd have sent, he would have called me while he was in the hospital. I was in Switzerland at the time. When I returned, he was being buried within the week on that Saturday. And so in those circumstances, he called me on his deathbed and said that if he would want his wife sworn in as a citizen in his presence. Unfortunately, he died before I got back from Switzerland. I didn't follow all of the words or the statements of Brent Simonet, but I took note that he said that what I did was not unlawful. And I would invite Brent Simonet to examine his own record before he could point fingers.
Who did he say that to at the end? Before you point fingers? What? Who did he say?
I missed that.
Was it Simonet? Anyway, that was Paige McCartney with that report there. Okay. So let's see if we can follow the timelines here. And I think there's some unusual conclusions being jumped to. But he said the cabinet approved this. Fine.
I mean, a lot was unusual.
But if you go by what he was saying, that the Privy Council ruling, I don't know if that can be applied to this case.
Right.
This is a person who became a citizen.
Right.
Right? So to say the Privy Council, and plus this man is married, so that's different. It's all very different. What are you bringing that up for? That's for Bahamian men who have children with foreign women, right? Not a naturalized necessarily. I don't know if it works. Does it automatically work like that? I'm not sure.
Yeah,
and then these,
it's a good question.
And then he was naturalized after they were born. So, I mean, reaching there. Now, but they are born here, so they are entitled to citizenship. Now, what is the age of the children? That's not clear. But I mean, the cabinet can approve before 18, I guess. They do have a lot of power.
Yeah. And so he was saying that those approvals already had gone through, right? Mm-hmm. And so this is one step in the process.
Sure. Don't do it at the funeral, though.
That was the big thing.
Don't do it at the funeral. It's weird.
You stopped the whole funeral.
It was very weird. Why would you do this? Hey, come see me Monday morning. I'll come to you later today. Whatever it is, but why? Why would you do that?
Publicity stunt? I don't know. What? I don't know. Why would you?
Oh, boy. It's like you just get weird when you get into
because
to
the
governance.
man's presence was there. It's for the
Spirit
last time.
Moved him? I don't know. I don't know what's going on at the funeral.
It was interesting.
Every time you see a coffin, you remember when you became a citizen of the Bahamas. Let's go to the calls. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us at Morning Blend 969, Facebook, or text us 422-4796. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. What say you on this?
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Chester.
Hi. Morning.
This is a non-issue. The person had legal status. He was married to the woman. Their paperwork was already in. The only issue is that he did the ceremony at the funeral. I think we just making a lot over nothing, in my opinion. The biggest issue is illegal immigration. Now, if Keith Bell can fix that issue, then we have even less to say. But I think this is more distraction from all the issues that's really going on in the country. I think we just need to keep our focus on the big picture, make sure that we get these shanty towns out, keep illegal immigration at the bare minimum, and we'll be fine as a country. But we discriminating against these people because all their paperwork was in and they had a ceremony at a funeral. I mean, anyway, I'm going to listen.
I don't know who's discriminating, but I hear you. Okay, thank you very much. It's just odd. Just odd. Do things in the proper way. That's bizarre. Always doing bizarre things. Always doing bizarre things. Why? Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Hi. Hi, good morning. Turn on your radio for us, please. Dave, get a life. Get a life. God almighty. Okay, 323-6232. 325-4316. You're banned. We don't want to hear from you. Call another station. Call Love 97 or something. 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. You know that if F&M cabinet minister had done this, he would have been the first one screaming and carrying on, right? Because everybody's ridiculous. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
That's me, Dwight?
Yes, you're on the air.
Good morning, Porpia. Good morning, Chester.
Morning.
Sorry. Dwight, yeah, Dave need to get a life for real. Like, he ain't get no shame. As much as you tell him in public. Dwight, you know, I hear the caller say, we wasting time talking about this, and I respect that caller, what he's have to say, right? I don't think this is a minute or a minor issue. Because I always say, it ain't what you do, it's how you do it. I think the bottom line, what this is saying is that, see, because Keith Bell is a smart whiz, I love him and everything, but they turn out to be really disappointing and turn out to be a big disgrace. I hear him talking about the honor and the dying man wishes, right? I'm talking about constituents who live and can't get them to honor their wishes. These political Negroes wouldn't even answer their phone. And they smart people. And what has bugged me about them, even if you support them or whatever, or you know them personally, they smart and they be talking to you like you're foolish. Like, I mean, even if you think some of them all are saying dumb, my God. I think all it's saying is that Keith Bell saying, look, yo, I is the minister, my party's the government, and we can do what we want. Don't ain't nothing y'all could do, but y'all could talk as much as y'all like. I think that's what Keith Bell them saying to us.
Wow.
Because they Dwight, you don't agree?
I mean, your case could be made.
They smart, no. See, listen, what not one of the things then what I think is important too, I think is the Prime Minister who say something about he telling the Minister of Immigration to stop the work permits. So people, Bahamians overseas who could come back home and take these jobs. And then he's saying something about he don't know why these be here more than 5 and 10 years. Some of these politicians get made being with them for 20 years, taking care of their children on work permit. I mean, some of them might have residency now, but that's how the process started.
Or citizenship.
Yes, and I think they need to be careful with this issue. This is the next hot button one, where they saying they could do that because some of us out here who get these foreigners, some of us disabled, some of us old, is reasons why. So all cases, you can't judge all cases like Keith Bell them and say they can consider the cases and stuff like that. I thought Keith Bell them said they stopped this residency and all of this stuff. I love Keith Bell and everything, but this time around, I don't know if he should resign or whatsoever, but he need to stop talking to us like we stupid, all us ain't stupid, man, and be tired of that. They need to get a life.
Yeah.
And this ain't nothing to do with politics. Right is right and wrong is wrong. I mean, what you do is how you do it. Keep up the good work, man.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah, I haven't commented on the PM and this proclamation, but we've heard that before, haven't we? They're gonna where Bahamians are qualified, we won't be issuing work permits, And right, I think every administration and every minister has proclaimed this. But we'll see. We'll see how things look in the year. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
And good morning, Chester.
Good morning.
Yeah, guys, I glad to see you back on ball, on path, right? Dwight and Chester, our Constitution now has become an emotional document, right? Because for our immigration officer, minister, to come on national airways with an emotional excuse to why he gave or caused whatever transpired that day to happen is ludicrous, because these guys supposed to be following one document and that document don't have feelings. That document don't have no type of emotional feelings. That document is the law, the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And our Minister of Immigration, he tampered with that. He tampered with the supreme law of this country, man, and he needs to be held accountable for that.
Well,
because if we allow that argument that he used forgiving somebody what you call it
citizenship,
right? Then we need to just dismantle the ministry or the Department of Immigration and let the emotions prevail.
Well,
because
I don't
all
know.
of those people, most everybody would have, and I know persons would had taken them inside that lab for 9 years, waiting to hear a response back after paying.
But you hear what he's saying. He's saying there already was a file. They already been through the process, and he just confirmed it after
but
approval.
If you also heard what he said, right? The time wasn't a long period of time. The time was not a long period of time to compare the people were still waiting, Dwight. Right? And then you can come out at the general. You should have do that behind the closed doors, right? You want to come out on the public to do something that you claim it wasn't right for you to be doing, but you can do it anyhow, and we must just turn a blind eye to that. No, man, right is right, and you have a lot of law-abiding Haitians in this country, and people of other foreign nationalities would apply the correct way, and they still waiting. Some of these people have their receipts in their hand, man. Huh?
Yeah. No, interesting points. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right.
You're welcome.
All right, we've got a lot of text messages to get to. Let's read these. All right, this is for another show. This is from last night, but I kind of want to read this. It's not related to our topic at all, but about BPL. This is about BPL. So listen to this. I just opened my light bill. Usage is the same, 2 ductless ACs, but I'm in shock. My mouth is on the ground. Exclamation, like several. My bill is $841.47. Fuel surcharge, $487.48. Usage, $277.49. VAT, $76.50.
Blimey.
Wow. I would consider myself upper middle class, but BPL and the price at the pump and 2 kids in university is a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Okay. This person says, ask Keith Bell, under what article, chapter, section of our Constitution does it allow minor children born to foreign parents in our country to be registered as Bahamians before their 18th birthday? And how did the deceased man and his wife come to be living in our country? Specifically, did they enter the Bahamas illegally or not? And then they talk about the Grand Bahama Port Authority, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But anyway, let me read it. As to the Grand Bahama Port Authority, please ask the carpetbaggers in the New Day government to build an economy from scratch on another of our islands and show the GBPA how things are done. The GBPA does not have the last word when it comes to international investment in Freeport.
Speaking of which, did you know Egypt is building an entire new city?
Oh, yes. Quite a few are. Quite a few
countries?
are. Quite a few countries, because their capitals have outlived their usefulness, are crowded, are poorly managed, or are just not helpful. And they've decided that they need to build purpose-built capitals to relieve pressure on the city.
It's crazy.
It's not crazy. Quite a few countries are doing
it's crazy how good it is.
It's a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
And the Bahamas seriously needs to consider this. Seriously. This is the only way to save Nassau. We'll do a whole show on this in a few days, actually. But this
you should post some of those new cities that are,
a lot of
Egypt
them in the
is
Middle
almost
East.
finished.
A lot of them in the Middle East. And they have a lot of money. But sure. But I have a way.
We got blue carbon credits coming.
Right. I actually have a way I think we could get the world to help fund this new capital. That sounds funny. Fund new capital. But yeah. But we need it. And that'll help to relieve pressure on the real estate market in New Providence too, I believe. But that's a whole other show. This person says, "Can you tell me how did this gentleman serve the country as a distinguished man?" I mean, we don't need to get into that, but he did. People, and so that's yeah. This one says, Bell and the PLPs are becoming more desperate to hold on to power and playing politics in our country. The countdown has started for them to go.
I mean, my only question with this thing is there a right or wrong place to do that kind of thing?
Mm-hmm. Very few right things to do at a funeral.
I mean, in the law.
Okay.
But you could hold those ceremonies wherever you want, to be honest, I think. That's my guess. Swearing in ceremonies, that is. But anyway.
Is that supposed to be Switzerland?
That who?
I think.
Is that
because we use a way.
The lime drink? Switzerland?
I don't know what that is. Anyway, how many Bahamians can pick up a phone and call a minister of the government while in Switzerland? Now, who's in Switzerland, the Bahamian or the minister? Well, I think many Bahamians can. Will the minister in question answer? Because they don't always answer. Some do, some don't, and some answer sometimes. So, so it all depends.
I think the texter is pointing to access.
Mm-hmm.
And who really has, or should have, maybe.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised who does and who doesn't. Obviously, again, very distinguished.
Well, people with lots of dollar signs usually have access.
Or who know where a lot of things are placed.
In the closet?
What?
No?
What?
What?
What are you saying? You stop. This person says the PLP castrated the media. That's why they feel emboldened to do this kind of madness and garbage. That's their doing. This bunch have no shame. Okay. Dwight and Chester, see, this is exactly why we cannot trust these these politicians. How can Bell tie this case into the recent Privy Council ruling? That was a ruling related to a Bahamian man having a child with a foreign woman. This man is a Haitian man, his wife a Haitian woman. Make it make sense. Well, a naturalized Bahamian. But I don't know if that can apply to, really, it's a stretch. It's a big stretch to apply it here. Now, the children are entitled to apply, absolutely, and and as he became a citizen, I do believe that's how it works, right? The wife of, even if you're naturalized, can apply, right? Is that, that's how, is it? Right, sure. Can you please get the wishes of a dying woman to Mr. Bell? I need her children to be given the official status of, boy, I hope you're not playing with this. You're joking, right? See, this is what's going to happen. Everyone's going to claim to be dying now. Or, should I read the rest of this message?
I don't know.
It feels creepy. Let's take some calls before we go to the break. We'll ponder the text. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Thank you, morning, Glenn. This seemed to be a very strong, powerful political move. Having this kind of event happening at an emotional service, pretty soon you'll have weddings. You'll find that maybe more than one or two people may be coming up and be granting their citizenship by the same person who should have been applying for citizenship in Switzerland where he was, and probably initially given to him, and then he could have stayed there. And we could get on with our business the way it properly should be done. But this is a political move, and I see a pattern here. And only few people in that party bold enough to do things like this, So Just look out for how much is going to happen. And who knows how many citizenship have been under that circumstances before and we don't know anything about it.
That's right. At a restaurant, right? At a christening.
See, here we go. Here we go. So this is the pattern. And guess what? You can clearly see the emboldened former U.S. president deliberately making all his mistakes and don't care. And I think it's a fever. Because, Bell has his own classified documents. You won't look at some of his. Thanks for taking my call.
Okay. All right. One more call before we take a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Dwight.
Hi, good morning. Turn on your radio for us, please.
Bill, what you read off. I was wondering if you have time, maybe on one of your business things in the mornings, maybe you could, like simple as that, Bill, if you could break it down to us. You say usage is $200 and something, then you talk about something else. I want to know how much of that on that bill you think, or Chester could tell us, how much of that on that bill is is because of the decision not following up on the hedge agreement with the former government, either the decision with Prime Minister Davis them do now. How much of that is because of their decision, the light bill, with that person what you read off earlier?
100.
Dumbing that down for us. You say 400 for something, that's something.
Well, yeah, everybody had their fuel surcharge. Well, for me, my fuel surcharge was double the usage, and I think that if you work that one out,
along the sliding scale of fuel surcharge increase, it's not surprising.
Right. So it is.
So any of that amount on the receipt is because of the decision what Brave them make?
Yeah,
No,
definitely.
huh?
Absolutely. What
about it? How much it costs?
I mean,
I can check my light bill, and I suggest everyone do they
well,
want
we have to go back to.
First we have to know how much of the fuel is still being hedged, because they said they still have the hedge in place. But is it doing what it's supposed to do? God knows.
Didn't they say over $100 and something million? That's the cost for not making that decision, and we paying it now on the light bill stem. That's so unfair for poor people right now. They can hardly buy food, Dread. Thanks.
Yeah, it's going to be rough. It's going to be a rough summer.
It's going to be a rough summer in terms of generation and in terms of being able to pay.
Can you imagine? No electricity, but your bill is double. Ah, boy. Good morning. You're on the air. Turn on your radio for us, please.
Can you get fire?
Oh, my God. PLPs, come for your psychopath. Please, for God's sake. We're trying to do a professional show here, and you're trying to cause me to lose my mind. He's got people calling. For God's sake. And the adult people who are coming on the line pretending they want to talk on the show to put this clown on.
They're having a good laugh right now, Dwight. At your
For the love of God. Grow up. He's going to cause it to be bad for everybody, because we're going to say we can't take calls because this crazy man comes on. Now, he has nothing sensible to say. And the PLP doesn't censure him, sanction him, anything. Just allow this wild dog to be out there doing foolishness. For God's sake. Okay. Let's read some messages as we go to the break. This person says here, Bell has set a precedent that others will expect. He needs to be careful. Another one here. The issue with Bell is a matter of judgment. Is this how a prudent minister acts? In all circumstances, his actions can be considered reasonable, or can they? It appears to be an unfortunate decision and also an unfortunate failure to see the error of his ways. All right. Yeah, I don't know if I can read this message here. Okay. This one says here, we read that already. One can show empathy for the family and not break the law at the same time. Someone that says you didn't break the law, then why is he saying you should resign? Even if the wife receives citizenship, the children should have to wait until 18. Do we know the ages? We keep asking, what are the ages?
Yeah, but that doesn't really make a difference, does it?
Which part?
If it was a cabinet decision, which they have every right to do, what difference does it make?
Yeah, I guess. That is true. And they can do that.
They can do that.
Yeah. The coverage of the story reminds me of the distraction of the submarine. 10,000 work permits were issued in 2022 to Haitian handymen. Cover that.
10,000?
I don't know where they're getting that number from. But in any event, your business people, Bahamian business people who own companies, are the ones who made those applications, right?
Yep.
They're the ones calling for that while we still have youth unemployment at higher than it should be. Right? So what's that about? Yeah, everything. All of that. This one says here, that sends a message to all those naturalized illegal migrants. Now, which one? You can't be all those things. Naturalized illegal migrants? What is that? Now, all of them will want their illegal spouses to become citizens. So what about the illegal children that his wife may have brought along? Okay, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop reading the text because I don't know what's going on with you. This one says, Dwight and Chester, we out here are supposed to continue to trust Keith Bell as Minister of Immigration to sit in that position, to continue to give out citizenship willy-nilly. Again, it wasn't willy-nilly, according to Keith Bell, right? According to the government, this had to pass through lots of people.
The problem is the funeral, and then this has caused people to now make things up in their head about how you grant citizenship.
Yeah, right. It's the optics. It just looks bad. Didn't have to be like this at all, and so maybe some people are right. This was a distraction.
Where are we being distracted from?
I don't. Oh God, must be something horrible. Yeah. Must be something horrible. All right, we're going to take a break. Are you tired of the rain yet? I mean,
no, actually.
You're not?
No.
I can't take it anymore.
My avocado plant is growing nicely.
Okay, good for you. I'm exhausted. But anyway, we'll be back. This is Morning Blend on Garney Radio 96.9.
Stand right against my window.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
That's the sound of your horn. Get in gear with an auto loan. RBC makes it easy to get your own.
Get in gear with an RBC auto loan with up to 100% financing, extended repayment, and low interest rates. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/gear up. Conditions apply.
That's the sound of your car or truck. That's the sound of your horn. Get in gear with an auto loan. RBC makes it easy to get your own.
It's time for your first look at traffic for the morning. Brought to you by RBC. Get in gear with an RBC auto loan. In your real-time traffic this morning, we are seeing manageable traffic on Milo Butler Highway, about midway between Fire Trail and JFK, and Tonic Williams-Darling Highway, about as you approach Harold Pond. You'll see that in the northbound lanes there. Traffic is backed up a bit, though, on Tonic Williams-Darling Highway. Glass Road, a better alternate route for you, and just is about a third of the way from JFK Drive if you're heading northbound. You will see that traffic in front of you at this hour. Some building traffic on Carmichael westbound, heading over to Coral Harbor Road, and elsewhere not looking so bad. Just at the major intersections, you'll see a few people in front of you, and Blue Hill Road as you get over that hill heading toward Independence Drive northbound as well. That's what we're seeing right now. We'll have another update for you after the 8 o'clock news. Morning Blend traffic brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/gear up for an RBC auto loan. And time for another check of your weather for this morning, brought to you by the Bahamas Games. We've got a mid to upper level trough north of the islands that will continue to enhance shower activity across the northwest and portions of the central Bahamas. For the northwest and central islands, we've got partly sunny, hot, and humid conditions with a chance of isolated showers and thunderstorms today. Small craft should be alert for gusty winds and higher seas. In or near heavy showers or thunderstorms. For the southeast Bahamas, mostly sunny, hot, and humid with a slight chance of isolated showers or maybe some thunderstorms by this afternoon. Temperatures getting up to 92 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius. The heat index up to 105 Fahrenheit, 40 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. In your extended outlook, mid to upper level troughing will persist, supporting occasional showers and thunderstorms across the northwest and central Bahamas by the start of the weekend. And a tropical wave near the islands expected to bring more rainfall in the southeastern Bahamas. So for Thursday, partly cloudy, hot, and becoming fair and warm at night. A few scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, mainly across the northwest Bahamas. Friday, partly sunny, hot, and humid, with a chance of a few isolated showers and thunderstorms, mainly across the central and southeast Bahamas. We'll have your look at the tropics coming up in weather after the 8 o'clock news. This look at weather brought to you by the Bahamas Games. Which island you reppin'? The Bahamas Games are coming July 7th through 15th. For more information, call 322-1029 or follow the Bahamas Games on social media at Bahama Games.
Bahamas Games? What was the purpose of the games?
The purpose is twofold. One, to bring Bahamians from throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas together through sports. And the second, to find talented athletes throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas to be trained and possibly make it to the Olympic level.
When the games is?
This July 7th to the 15th.
For more info, call 322-1029.
Wherever you're headed, the Custom Computers Know-How team is standing by to help guide you in the East and the West. We now have 2 convenient locations on Patton Street in Palmdale and our newest store in the Caves Village Shopping Plaza through the Blake Road entrance. Discover the latest products by top international brands and the knowledge you need to unleash tomorrow's technology today. Drop by Custom Computers out east or out west. We're open Saturdays from 10 till 4.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. If you're going to invest in an exotic pet, choose anything but a Norwegian forest cat. Apparently, they will eat all your jewelry. Before you know it, you're racing to the vet when your cat escapes from his carrier and lunges for your earrings. You crash and your cat swallows your pearls. But if you're smart, you'll have CG Motor Insurance and get the best comprehensive coverage for the price.
Get the best comprehensive coverage for the price. CG Atlantic Insurance Agents and Brokers. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
You could win your share of $1,000 and free annual memberships when you apply for your Mobile Assist Visa Travel Rewards Card. It's a prepaid Visa that gives you access to travel and online shopping deals worldwide every single day. Enter automatically when you successfully apply through our Mobile Assist app. Use your prepaid Visa 5 times or more, and you are automatically entered to win your share of $1,000. See our social media pages for more details. Apply, save, and win with Mobile Assist.
The B3As will host the 2023 National Track and Field Championship July 5th through 7th. Who will have bragging rights when it's all said and done? Stephen Gardner, Women's Javelin, NCAA Champion Remo Ottoman, or Carifta record holder Kimera Strawn, Women's 100 meters, Andronique Strawn, or Anthea Charlton, just to name a few. Mark the date, July 5th through 7th, the B3A's 2023 National Track and Field Championship at the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. It's track and field at its best.
We band together, and we at Cleveland Clinic in Florida have your back. From advanced cancer treatments to extra safety measures at all of our locations, we're with you on this journey. For every infusion and follow-up, for every step of the way, for every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic in Florida. Get the care you need when and where you need it. To learn more or connect with a local representative, visit clevelandclinic.org/Caribbean.
Indulge in an experience that awakens your senses with Nescafe Gold.
Premium Arabica coffee beans, carefully selected, roasted to perfection, and finely ground, resulting in a unique and unmatched flavor and aroma that captivates the senses. Enticing aroma, smooth taste. Elevate your coffee experience with Nescafe Gold.
Total Auto Care on Howard Road offers fast, quality auto maintenance at the very best prices. Tune-ups, oil changes, brakes, suspension, wheel alignments, radiators, water pump replacements, and more. Need quality brand name tires for your vehicle? Tires that'll stand up to these roads? No worries. We supply Michelin, BF Goodrich, Bridgestone, Pirelli, and Toyo. We'll import them fast and install them for you at no extra cost. So when your car needs maintenance or quality tires, we're on Howard Road, just before Burger King. Come see us. Total Auto Care. Call us at 341-6599 or 341-235.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Bahamas, Channel 969, and BTC Flow, Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. And now at 8:21, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. We've got a mid to upper level trough just north of the islands that's going to produce shower activity, more shower activity, mainly across the northwest and portions of the central Bahamas. Mariners should be alert for possible water spouts. Localized flooding is also possible in flood-prone areas during heavy and or prolonged rainfall events. And everybody's being advised to remain hydrated and limit outdoor exposure, especially when the sun is out. And we're expecting another day of triple-digit heat indices. So heat exhaustion is possible. For today, for the northwest and central Bahamas, partly sunny, hot and humid, with a chance of isolated showers and thunderstorms. Smoke-craft should be alert for gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers or thunderstorms today. For the southeast Bahamas, mostly sunny, hot and humid, with a chance of isolated showers this afternoon. Smoke-craft again should be alert for gusty winds in or near heavy showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures getting up to 92 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius, but the heat index will make it feel like it's up 105 Fahrenheit, 40 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. In your extended outlook, mid to upper level troughing will persist, supporting occasional showers and thunderstorm activity across the northwest and central Bahamas by the start of the weekend. And a tropical wave near the islands expected to induce rainfall in the southeastern islands. So for Thursday, tomorrow, partly cloudy, hot, becoming fair and warm at night. Scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms possible mainly across the northwest Bahamas. And by Friday, partly sunny, hot and humid, with a chance of afternoon showers, isolated showers and thunderstorms mainly across the central and southeastern Bahamas. In the tropics, we've got a weak area of low pressure associated with the remnants of Cindy. And it continues to produce disorganized showers and a few thunderstorms about 500 miles to the south of Bermuda. Formation chance through the next 7 days is low, though, about 10%. That's your Morning Blend weather check, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Visit First Online Insurance and select a Bahamas First agent to purchase, pay, or renew your car or home insurance 100% online, or just stop by any Bahamas First agent. Bahamas First, celebrating 40 years as the first Bahamian general insurance company. What's first for you comes first for us. And it's time for another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. Get in gear with an RBC auto loan. Seeing that heavy traffic on Mile Butler Highway from Fire Trail straight up to Tonic Williams Darling Morning. That's in northbound lanes there. Glaston Road also looking busy now, about midway between Fire Trail and John F. Kennedy Drive. If you're heading northbound, you see that traffic in front of you. Elsewhere, Blue Hill Road near Carmichael, but especially north of Soldier Road on the way to Independence Drive northbound. And a bit of congestion near Cordo Avenue if you're on Blue Hill Road heading north. And into the downtown area as well, near East Street and Bay Street this morning. Elsewhere, we've got Robinson Road between Soldier and Old Trail. Heavy traffic there, westbound and Soldier just north of that Robinson Road, Prince Charles Drive intersection on the way to Bernard Road, Wolf Road, and Village Road. Looking busy for you. That's what we're looking at right now. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/gear up for an RBC auto loan.
That's the sound of your car or truck. That's the sound of your horn. Get in gear with an auto loan. RBC makes it easy to get your own.
Get in gear with an RBC auto loan with up to 100% financing, extended repayment, and low interest rates. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/gear up. Conditions apply.
That's the sound of your car or truck. That's the sound of your horn. Get in gear with an auto loan. RBC makes it easy to get your own.
Against my window, 'cause he ain't here with me. Hey, window pane, tell me, do you remember how sweet it used to be? When we were together, everything was so grand.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. Okay, we've been talking about what's been in the news. Keith Bell again and this issue with the funeral and citizenship. And we'll get to the Grand Bahama Port Authority in just a bit. We want to get through the last few messages before we get to the Port Authority. This person, could we have questions about this? This is a serious matter. The court said that children born to a Bahamian man are citizens at birth. When those children were born, I think, did we read this right? The deceased here was not a Bahamian. Mr. Bell needs to rewind and come again. Registration of those children was unlawful. Well, I don't know if that's the right word to use. Again, the cabinet has a lot of authority, and they can do a lot of things. Right? Anyway, okay. Some other messages here. This is a non-issue. Why should this process happen behind closed doors? We want naturalized citizens to celebrate being Bahamians. We always say we want to know who is getting sworn in, but it happens and we're complaining like bigots. No, Tex. You're really entirely missing it, right? People were wondering if the process, if this was done the right way. So it was not clear. Bell is saying something now, but it wasn't clear at the time to the people at the funeral, who must have been quite surprised to see what they were seeing. Right. So it did look very odd. And now you can decide if you think, but to just declare it a non-issue, I don't know if anyone can do that. But you might think it's not important, and that's great for you. But this is, there's a right way to do things. There's a proper way to do things. And I don't know if this meets that criteria. It's bizarre. It's bizarre. What is this? The call was made to come downtown next Tuesday. I wonder if that $800 BPL customer and others like this will be there. What call? Has been a call to demonstrate?
I haven't heard a call.
I've not heard it. What are you talking about?
I haven't seen a call either.
These random messages out of nowhere. What call? Who made a call? We'll be there, or are we going to do the usual I got to work and dine my problem response? If you can't collectively demonstrate and bring awareness to all the issues, then can we please just play music all day and stop raising our blood pressure over the daily darkness? Texter, please. There are many music stations. Go right ahead. What are you talking about? And they don't know all of these things. What call? Who made the call?
Were they like, go, call?
I don't know what they're talking about. Who made the call? Did you? What was it? A bat signal?
Somebody on the rooftop going,
I don't understand. I'm not on that WhatsApp list, I guess. What call?
Yeah, I don't know about a call.
I mean, okay. Dwight and co-host. Okay. Remember, Mr. Bell is known for this kind of behavior. back to this again. Okay. That BPL user needs to play that number and hope he wins to pay that bill.
Okay.
Which one? The full bill or the fuel surcharge part of it? Which part do you think was going to be the winning ticket?
We still paying for fuel.
The Democrats in the U.S. are allowing migrants to flow in predominantly black cities, so they no longer have to rely on the potentially unstable black vote. Oh my God. The same playbook is trying to be done in the Bahamas. Call me a fool now and cry later.
Huh?
I'm crying now. I'm crying that I read the text. This one says here, good morning to Dwight and blessings to you, my beloved electric car, Chester.
Good morning.
Okay, before I talk about Keith Bell, Chester, where exactly on Shirley Street is Avery Lightburn Salt Fiber Rebar Seminar happening?
Oh, Genesis Academy.
Genesis Academy and Lovers Lane.
Yes.
On Shirley and, yeah. So just...
That's like the end, to be honest. The Genesis takes up between Dowswell and Shirley Street.
Right, so just after?
Right next door to
St. Matthews. Yeah. If you're heading west.
If you're heading west, right.
Yeah.
Right after St. Matthews Graveyard.
And again, if you're on Dowswell, it'll be right there.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. Again,
opposite another graveyard.
Genesis spans between Dowswell and Shirley Street.
Anyway, now, concerning Keith Bell, it says that right there. Very interactive text. Giving out citizenship at a funeral. It's a political move to ensure the PLP Haitian Bahamian vote, similar to when Dr. Minnis and Frankie Campbell visited the church to secure the F&M Haitian vote. We need to instead give out residencies instead of citizenship with rights to vote. Yeah. Well, yeah. Sure. This one says here, regarding Keith Bell's decision, clearly there is a personal relationship with the man that died. And they're giving an example. I'm not going to read that part there. The Prime Minister seems to be out to lunch while his ministers run wild, saying and doing foolishness in public. Good morning, gents. People say Bahamians are discriminating against Haitians. That is so annoying and frustrating. Bahamians are overwhelmed. Haitians are everywhere. This place is Haiti, man. Gents, you should really find out how many construction work permits were handed out. I work on a construction site, and it's literally 33 Haitians to 2 Bahamians, and that's one site. All of 2? Whoa. You heard it yourself. Work permits are approved. Yeah, okay. And this one here, just, what is this? This message says, how many other citizenships has Minister Bell given out as a sympathetic gesture to people? How many other, yes, we need an audit. And this one says here, we need someone to clarify, to clarify if cabinet can grant citizenship to anyone. Because if the man was not a Bahamian at the time, the children are not qualified for citizenship until they're 18.
I'm pretty sure in the legislation somewhere it says at the minister. It always says the minister.
Discretion.
The minister can decide. Almost every piece of legislation that's written, the minister can make a decision on something.
Yeah, one's cabinet.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, they can do that, folks. That's why you got to be careful when you walk into that booth. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, Dwight, and good morning, Chester. How y'all doing?
Good morning.
Good. Good morning to the nation. What's that other topic you said you were going to pick up after this matter with Minister Bell, Dwight?
The Port Authority.
Right. I'd like to be able to call back on that, time permitting for me. But look, Dwight, it's really appalling. It's actually sickening, and it's disgusting that Bahamians didn't find the issue in the fact that the highest court that our land submits to, being the Privy Council, made a ruling, and all those persons, all Bahamian men, all fathers, all matters relating to maternity and paternity of Bahamian citizenship were not executed by the government immediately. It's sickening and disgusting that you have these persons texting in with this absolute nonsense, right? Unjustified nonsense. When we have something on the books legally that's justified, that has not been executed. I thank God and I praise Minister Keith Bell for the step that he took. Unfortunately, he was unable to confer the citizenship to the children of the Bahamian citizen who passed away before he closed his eyes. But I'm thankful to God that he has the testicular fortitude and he has the integrity to ensure that a public display was given to that man's family and the reinsurance of the government given to them in conferring what is entitled, or what should have been entitled to them 18 years ago, or however old the children are. They were entitled and they were deprived.
Do you know how old the children are?
They are at least 18 years of age, Dwight.
You know this for a fact?
Pardon me?
You know this for a fact?
No.
What?
I do not know it for a fact.
So why are you speaking on
I
this?
do not know it for a fact. But the minister stated from birth, not 18. He stated in the replay that you played that they should have received Bahamian citizenship. Unfortunately, it took for the courts to make a ruling rather than for Parliament to correct the wrong that was being done to children all over the world who are Bahamian. And so I'm just
Anton,
thankful.
you're conflating issues here.
I'm not conflating any issue, Dwight.
Yeah, this is
The
a
point being-
naturalized citizen.
The point being,
so it's
the
not
point
as
being-
simple as that.
the
He's
point
a
being, the minister did
naturalized
nothing-
citizen.
Dwight, if I could just finish my point, please, with all respect.
But we're very curious as to what do you know these people? Well, you're very passionate about this. What's
I
going
don't
on
have
here?
to know them. All I
think
need
it's
to know,
very
Dwight,
odd.
all I need to know, Dwight, the issue being Bahamian citizenship being conferred from Bahamian parents to their children. That's the only thing that needs to matter.
This is
to
a
us.
naturalized
This was a Bahamian man.
citizen.
The minister stated very clearly.
He had
this
these
was a
children while he
Bahamian
was
man.
not a Bahamian citizen. So it's not as simple as what you're saying. Now, I'm not saying they're not entitled, but I'm just saying don't mix stories up.
I'm not
The
mixing
Privy
any
Council
story up.
ruling is very different from this.
I'm going according to what you revealed in the press release from the Minister Bell. Minister Bell stated that the ruling from the Privy Council made it very clear who qualifies.
Yeah, and we think he's wrong for saying that. We think he's wrong for saying that. It's about Bahamian men and foreign women, not their wives, And this person was not a Bahamian citizen at the time and has a foreign wife. So it's a different situation. He's now was naturalized before his death. It's a little bit different. So, right? So we don't have an issue with what Keith Bell did. I mean, it's odd, but just the method is strange. But you're bringing up something totally different. And we're going to get ourselves into serious issues if we look at that and think that applies to this.
Based on what you were saying, right, Dwight? I would hope that reporters from the Guardian media would go back to the minister and put these same points that you are explaining to me right now to him, because you are claiming that what he spoke to is a completely separate issue than what actually occurred in the matter. I don't think the cabinet is confused in conferring the citizenship. I don't think the minister is confused in conferring the citizenship. But you were suggesting something different, and so I would like to hear.
No, I'm saying Keith Bell shouldn't have brought that up. He shouldn't have brought that up. You could make a case for. He can make a case for all the things he's talking about, but he shouldn't have brought that up. That's not related to this entirely. He shouldn't have brought that up. But okay, it's very special how much. Very special how passionate people. What is that about? Do you know them? Are they your friends? What's the deal? Because it's your party.
You got to go to bat for your people, even if they ain't your people.
Very strange. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Yeah, but Keith Bell shouldn't have brought that up. Nothing to do with this. Not a thing to do with this. Now you're making it muddier than it was already. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight. How you doing?
Doing well.
I don't normally call a show with these things, but I have to blast Anton. It is obvious that Anton is one of those ones. They're missing this big picture that we're trying to say, It is obvious that they are They are PLPs and F&Ms and everything else before there's Bahamian. Why is it that they are putting so much emphasis on this thing? The way the method was done, I think it was wrong, in my opinion, and so forth. But I want to say, look here, we have to think Bahamian first and stop thinking as party supporters. I mean, if he could, he can bleed some water with got PLP written in it.
It's yellow.
I don't understand it.
Yellow.
Bahamian. Please, Bahamian.
Thank you, caller. Appreciate it. Yeah. I don't understand. Let's take another call. Good morning. You're on the air. Okay. A couple more before we get to the Port Authority. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning to you all, two decent gentlemen. Let me set the record straight on Keith Bell. The administration, a gentleman was sentenced to jail for dangerous drugs on a Friday evening. That man was not sent up to prison. He was sent to the central police station where he was held. The next Saturday, the Saturday after the Friday, on instruction from Mr. That man was allowed to marry his fiancée in the station. As a result of that, a senior officer was asked to resign. Now, why would you ask that senior officer to resign if Mr. Bell orchestrated the wedding? Now, I do that out there to your listening audience so they could make a judgment on Mr. Keith Bell. Thank you very much.
Okay. I mean, we don't have to bring up these old stories.
Oh, the whole story.
I mean,
really?
because all of... okay. Let's take this call. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight, and good morning, Chester.
Hi.
Good morning.
You know, Dwight, the sad reality is this, we continue to allow these operatives to be spreading propaganda, and we are not paying attention to the Constitution. The Jane Roney case was a prime example, Dwight, of the Privy Council ruling in respect to citizenship. And if we don't move without haste to implement paternity and maternity testing to address these type of behaviors from ministers and those in authority, we're going to continue to have this thing. I mean, we are laughing stock of the Bahamas. The Privy Council stated that it was very clear that Jane Roney did not meet the criteria outlined in the Constitution, which was he didn't apply between the ages of 18 and 19. Here it is now. We have a Nationality Act, right? I've been on this now for years. That bill is flawed. The minister don't have no legal standing to behave in the way they are behaving. But you wouldn't give me, you try to discredit it or make it seem as if that I'm talking some nonsense. That Nationality Act was supposed to be brought to a referendum. It's flawed. It's working ultra-virus to what the supreme law of the Bahamas states. Why can't we get this in our head? The minister don't have no moral authority, and if he did, where in the Constitution did they give this minister the type of power to be behaving the way they are behaving? And I'm not just I'm pointing this thing at Keith Bell. Successive ministers over the years have been ignoring the fact that Chief Justice just made a comment. The Privy Council stated that since Jane Roney did not meet the deadline between 18 and 19, how is it that the minister now is going to be regularizing children who cannot make a decision on their own and persons who would have already passed the threshold of 18 to 19? You're not even examining these things, right?
No, you can't say that. We don't know. No one can answer the question as to the age of the children.
I'm telling you,
do you know the age of the children? Yeah. Do you know the age of these children in this situation?
No, but not only that.
So that's a serious thing.
Right.
We don't know.
That bill was supposed to be brought to a referendum for our approval.
Fine.
If you're going to do something totally opposite of what the Constitution speaks to, where in the Bahamas did we have a referendum to engage in this type of behavior? That bill, that is not a legal legislation. Okay. The Nationality Act is flawed, and it should have been brought to us, to the Bahamian people, to decide on it. The minister don't have no legal standing to do what they're doing.
All right. I mean,
that's a fact.
Yeah. Who said that?
No issue, and I will challenge the minister. And you know what's going to happen? All citizenship that have been granted, all the activities that have been granted under this Nationality Act from 1973 is null and void, and we're going to challenge it in court, and we're going to remove these people off our voters registration list, because it never should have happened in this Bahamas. If it was a legal legislation, why didn't Fred Smith point out to the Constitution, point out to the Privy Council that we have a Nationality Act which will give you citizenship irrespective of how old you are? It never came up.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot. All right. We're going to leave this one there. It would be good to know the age of the children involved, but there are, again, the cabinet and the minister have some privileges, and almost every single law in this country speaks to that.
Yep.
So, hey, but it's dangerous when we have people mixing up all kinds of things, and we're hearing all morning long people bringing up other issues that they're all related to citizenship, but not entirely similar to this case, and so we're not going to get anywhere if we continue to do that. Right? All right, so we're running out of time. Just want to quickly get to this, really quickly, to the Port Authority issue. And the Port Authority firing back. You got to read these stories in today's National Guardian and Fred Mitchell as well. And we're seeing this back and forth continue. And the port keeps saying how this is just damaging to potential investors, their confidence in what's happening with Grand Bahama and Freeport. And just the saber rattling continues, right? What is going to happen here? What is the deal? When will something be said so that this madness, we can get over this hump and find a solution for Freeport and Grand Bahama?
When will something be said by whom?
By the government. I mean, you're saying the time has come for us to look at what we're going to do, but okay. So what does that mean? We're going to have a big conference. We're going to meet about it. We're going to talk. You're going to decide. What are you going to do? What is the plan? Right? Boy, let's see. Are these about the Port Authority? Let's take this call really quickly. We got to move. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, Chester.
Hi.
Good morning.
I sat here this morning listening to this conversation. And Dwight, you're absolutely correct. I totally agree with what Cleaver Duncombe has said, the previous caller, on this matter. We seem to have some operatives who seem hell-bent on conflating and distorting the facts as they are, as it relates to what the Constitution states and what this new national, whatever it is trying to do here. It seems to be a conflict. And yet, it seems to be that we must sit down, act stupid, act dumb, see that what's being proposed is going almost squarely against what the Constitution states, and we must keep our mouths quiet. I mean, again, I am very, very concerned that we as learned people and the persons who pushes these type of agendas are very intelligent. They know exactly what it is that they're doing, and nobody's calling them out to cease and desist. We must fix this problem. In closing, my closing remarks is simply this. I'm very, very concerned when I see my country is going backwards. We are supposed to be progressing. We are not progressing. We are stagnant or we are going back. When are we going to fix this country and get our laws together? The low-hanging fruit still hasn't been touched, and yet we are grappling with things that should have gone to a referendum for the people to determine which direction we should go with this thing, and yet we are being denied the right. We're being denied the basic right to even that. We must fix this country, man. Thanks for taking my call this morning.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about Regional HIV Testing Day. What do you need to know? This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
I left a voice for someone like you. I'll beg his forgiveness for bending knee, but I wouldn't blame him if he said to me, "You're no good, you're no good, you're no good."
It's now on tiles, June Jubilee sale. And to celebrate 93 years in business and the Bahamas' 50 years of independence, they're giving you 20% off store-wide. Catch the sale on all tiles, thinset, grout, mosaics, and more. Save 30% off ceramic tiles and up to 30% on selected porcelain tiles. Their experts will guide you in selecting the right tiles. Visit their showroom on Downsville's June Jubilee sale from June 26th to June 30th.
Girl, why you so sweaty?
Y'all are getting ready for the Bahamas Games.
Yes? What that is?
The Games started in 1989 under the then Minister of Sports, Peter J. Bethel, and now Minister Mario Boleg.
When the Games is?
This July 7th to the 15th.
For more info,
go to www.thebahamasgames.org
or call 322-1029.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
It's Bahama Rock! It's time to rock to the best in Bahamian music. Bahama Rock, the national All Bahamian concert, takes place this Saturday at the Westin Esplanade, starting at 6 p.m., featuring our Grammy Award-winning Bahamen, along with a cast of the best in Bahamian entertainment. Bahama Rock! Come out and celebrate with all your favorite Bahamian entertainers live on stage this Saturday, July 1st. To get your free tickets, log on to www.celebrate-bahamas.com or check out Celebrate Bahamas on Facebook.
Total Auto Care on Howard Road offers fast, quality auto maintenance at the very best prices. Tune-ups, oil changes, brakes, suspension, wheel alignments, radiators, water pump replacements, and more. Need quality brand name tires for your vehicle, tires that'll stand up to these roads? No worries. We supply Michelin, BF Goodrich, Bridgestone, Pirelli, and Toyo. We'll import them fast and install them for you at no extra cost. So when your car needs maintenance or quality tires, we're on Howard Road, just before Burger King. Come see us. Total Auto Care. Call us at 341-6599 or 341-2350.
The Bahamas Public Parks and Public Beaches Authority invites all private companies and civic organizations to adopt a roundabout. This is your chance to stand out from the crowd, beautify and enhance our local areas for residents and tourists alike, just in time for the 50th anniversary of our independence. With this opportunity, you can engage persons on the go, generate media interest, and promote your company. Stand out and celebrate 50. For more information, you can call 242-604-3750.
At Wendy's, we are different. We don't just use beef, it's fresh, never frozen. Our burgers are square because we never cut corners. Served hot off the grill with fresh lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and American cheese. We believe in fast food done right. Always serving fresh, never frozen beef. Order a hot, juicy Dave single, double, or triple. Made with fresh, never frozen beef. Now only at Wendy's. Different inside and out.
It's been 35 years since Custom Computers was founded, and we'd like to celebrate that milestone by thanking you, our clients and customers. You've inspired 35 years of expert service and support, partnering with the world's leading brands like HP, Apple, and Microsoft. We take pride in setting the bar for what you expect and deserve from a homegrown Bahamian business. We're here to serve you when you need us, so call 396-1101. Custom Computers, raising the standard since 1987.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Softer than the summer night. Everything I want, I have. Whenever I hold you tight. This magic moment, while your lips are close to mine, will last forever. Forever till the end of time. Oh,
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. Okay, we're changing gears. It was a challenging morning.
Indeed.
Oh, boy. So we're going to be talking. Who would have thought this would be the thing to bring us some calm? Regional HIV testing days coming up. And Keith Kemp is the prevention educator with the National AIDS Program. And welcome back to the show. Great to have you with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, so when exactly is Regional HIV Testing Day?
Regional HIV Testing
Pull
Day.
that mic up there a little bit. Yeah.
Regional HIV Testing is celebrated regionally on June 27th, which would have been yesterday.
Oh, yes. Oh,
yes,
gone. Wow, okay.
yes. But the Bahamas will be observing it on Friday, June 30th. And so this year, as the same as every year, we kick off Regional Testing Day as a whole month of activities. And so this month we have already done testings in different areas of the country, including one family island. Our team just got back from Harbour Island last week, Friday. They did the testing over there. We did testing in Golden Gate Shopping Center week before last. We did testing on Billy Park last week, Friday. And the first testing, the kicked off regional testing, was outside Elizabeth Estates Community Clinic. And so this year, regional testing day will go back to Pompey Square on Friday, June the 30th, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And that'll be our annual regional testing event where we gather all of our teams together to do a major testing and bring in our partners to come together to make this event a success.
And you've got a special theme this year.
Yes, the theme this year is I Test 242.
Okay.
And what we're doing with that theme is we're encouraging persons who have already taken an HIV test to share their experience with other persons and encourage them to come out to take an HIV test. You may have persons who are fearful and may have misconceptions about HIV testing. And because you've already done it before, who best to share the experience of how you felt coming through the testing process, okay? Talking about how you felt about the pre-test counseling, how you felt about the post-test counseling, how you felt about even, personal fair needles, okay? All we do for our rapid testing is a simple finger prick, okay? And so we want persons who have been tested before to encourage their spouse, to encourage their partners, to encourage their coworkers, their friends, their family members of the process, and how important you feel it is to know your HIV status. And so we're really leaning on the general public to partner with us this year in encouraging persons to take seriously knowing their HIV status. And I say this is as serious as I can say this: as long as you're sexually active and you've engaged in ritual sexual activity and you do not know your partner's HIV status and you've never been tested, you cannot tell me you're HIV negative.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about knowing your status and attitudes and if people are really taking this seriously, understanding what you just said there.
One of the things persons must always remember when it comes to HIV is that most persons who contract HIV are asymptomatic, which means that they tend not to show any signs and symptoms at the time of infection, right? Another thing is, depending on how strong your immune system is, you can live 2, 3, 4, 5, even up to 10 years with HIV before HIV begins to affect your immune system and show signs of infection, right? So if you have a strong, healthy immune system, you could be HIV positive, don't know it because you're not getting tested, but also transmitting it to other persons, and they could find out HIV positive before you because they may have a weak immune system or other pre-existing conditions that will cause the virus to progress faster. And so this is one of the things we try to educate the general public. Secondly, if you had sexual intercourse within a 3-month period prior to taking your HIV test, and the test comes out negative, you may not truly be negative because you could be in something called the window period.
Wow.
And the window period lasts 7 weeks up to 3 months where you can take an HIV test and get a negative result, but you could actually be positive. And so if you take the result and say you're negative and you don't come back to us for the next 5 years to get a test, you could also you could be positive and transmit HIV to other persons thinking that you're negative, when in fact you're actually positive. And that's why testing is important, because we educate the general public on these factors to make sure they understand their behaviors. That's why during testing we do something called a risk assessment. We ask you questions in terms of when last you had sex, when last your partner was tested, Is this your only sexual partner?
Right.
And the list goes on and on. And as we ask questions, we begin to do an assessment on our clients. For example, maybe you may have more than one sexual partner. The more sexual partners you have, the more you increase your chances of contracting HIV. Maybe you having sex in exchange for goods or services.
Wow.
Right? That may be something you need to take a look at, because then that increases your partner also in the amount of person you have sex with, and the list goes on. Or maybe you'll be having sex under the influence of drugs or alcohol. We've had conversations with clients with certain top shelf alcohol makes, especially females, makes them aroused. And so you may be going out and you may not want to have sexual intercourse, but after having a few cocktails, you're feeling like you want to do something now, okay? Yeah. Or you don't have the control you would have over your body as once when you were sober. And so we would say, listen, maybe if you try drinking a different type of brand of alcohol that doesn't do this to you. So there are certain things we look at. There's conversations we have, as crazy as that sound, as reality for some persons, okay? And then we begin to talk about things you could put in place to help prevent HIV.
I want to ask you about the window period thing. So we've been hearing about that for years, but that's still the case. That isn't coming down. We don't have better tests to determine this now.
It's not a mere fact just about testing. It's a mere fact about the replication of the virus within the body. Okay. Even though I may test you for HIV, within that particular stage, replication has not taken place for the circulation of the virus within the bloodstream. Okay. So remember that I may get blood from you, but that blood, because replication and circulation hasn't taken place, that blood is still not infected blood per se, because the virus doesn't begin to replicate through the blood system. Until replication takes place and circulation takes place, in order for that blood to be detected, that period still exists. And so it's quite hard within the window period to pick up on a test without a replication and circulation through the blood system. So it's almost like if I spray a cologne in this room, right? And someone sitting right next to me would smell it way before you smell it, because circulation hasn't taken place as yet. So you have to wait for circulation to take place. That's why we always advise persons to repeat the test in 3 months to ensure that everything is okay. Now, the problem too is, if you come to us in 3 months and tell me you slipped up 3 weeks ago, that only a test for the last. But you got to do it again now for that last exposure. That's why when a person asks us, well, how often should I get an HIV test done? We tell them, depending on how much times you are exposed to receive sexual practices and behaviors. So for some people, once a year, some people twice a year, others every 3 months.
Is there the fear still exists in the country and I guess maybe globally? About HIV, a lot of things have changed. We talk about sex a lot. I remember when we used to talk about sharing needles in the big drug era times. But the message has changed over the years. Is that because we've gotten better at dealing with HIV?
Well, you asked me 2 questions. The first question you asked me is in terms of fear. There's still a lot of misconceptions in terms of HIV testing and in terms of confidentiality. And most persons who you would find not wanting to be tested may have a fear of their information being leaked. Or finding persons within the healthcare system who they may know when they get tested to know their HIV status. So that fear still exists, okay? And that's understandable to a certain degree, because we're a small nation and everyone kind of knows everyone, okay? But we try to find ways to mitigate that in terms of our work and our healthcare workers working with our clients to the best of our ability to try as best to make them as comfortable as accessing healthcare services within the Bahamas. And so we work with both public and private sector partners, doctors and nurses, to see how best we can ensure that our patients get medication and treatment, while at the same time making sure that information is kept under the strictest confidentiality in terms of being able to make them comfortable. Now, when you talk about messaging, messaging changes as culture changes. Okay? And so as culture changes, especially with influences from other nations, we have to redirect our messaging to fit what's happening in our culture. And so when we look at culture, we look at where the music industry is going, we look at where our young people, what things our young people are gravitating to, and their attention is being expanded to, we begin to address our educational messages towards those stuff, because those stuff will have the influence in which we need to begin to target our young people. And so when we talk about sexual intercourse, right now, we looked at our 2018, 2019 statistics. I can't remember, it's 2018, 2019. But one of those statistics, we saw men increase in new HIV infection over females.
Oh.
Wow. Right, that was the first time ever, right, that men increase in new HIV infection over females. And so then now it goes to the fact of what is driving the increase, because can we say that more men are being tested over females? Not really, all right? But when we look at sexual practices within the male culture now, dynamics has changed, right? We don't make love anymore, okay? We do other things. We refer to sex in rough mannerisms, okay? Which means now that our engagement in sex is no longer gentle. Our engagement in sex is now rough. And the more you apply pressure into sex, I'm trying to word this as best as I could.
Right.
The more you apply pressure into your sexual activity, the more beating you put on your genitals, the more beating you put on the contraceptive that you're using, that will make you more vulnerable and access more cuts and abrasion on your genitals to open up your for transmission of sexual fluids, to cause infection to take place. And so now we see this happening within our male population. And maybe, just maybe, the way the culture in terms of how we have sex now has changed the dynamics in terms of now that we're more rougher, it means we have more breakage, it means we have more access for fluids to enter the blood system for infection to take place. So now education needs to be done in terms of, if you're going to be rough, you have to be also cautious of the fact that the contraception you're using may not be designed to take the pressure that you're applying to it, and these are the risk factors you open yourself up to.
If you're using contraceptives. Right. Wow. And you said, repeat that again, the numbers went up. This is the most recent,
Yeah, we saw, not the numbers, but we saw an increase over males as relates to their female counterparts. I think it's 2018, 2019 statistics. I'll send it back to you if you quote me correctly.
Wow. Oh boy! All right, so what do we do? What do we do about these adjusting these attitudes? And as you said, this is the images, especially on social media. They just it isn't cool to be doing certain things anymore, and it seems. What do you do? What can you do?
Well, one of the things that is important, and I know the general public don't like to hear it, but education is important. We have to continue to educate, and a lot of people be like, "Oh, HIV again," but as things change, you have to continue with education, because education is also going to make persons aware of what's happening as relates to your behavior, as relates to your practices, as relates to the things that you're exposed to, and as relates to the culture that's coming into our country. And if we don't continue to educate and make our people aware of what's happening, then, persons are just going to be out there doing blind things, thinking that it's fun or thinking that it's acceptable, not understanding that there are great risk factors related to it. So education is important. Access and availability to testing and healthcare services is also very important. What do I mean when we say access to healthcare services? Like what we're doing with our HIV testing, taking testing and services into the community, where persons may not always tend to come into a healthcare setting, but when you go into their community, their parks, the places that they traverse, and make testing more accessible, you find a person be more inclined to take an HIV test. And so these are the things that we're doing as it relates to messaging, as it relates to access and availability, to get the general public more aware of what's happening and make sure they have access to these services.
So, outside of the month, what is the frequency of testing and moving around the communities?
Testing is ongoing, and one of the things we always like to do is partner with our business and corporate communities, making testing available to staff and at health fairs or whatever event they'll be having, all free of charge by Bahamas government. And so even after regional testing day is over, we continue our testings with small group testings with corporate businesses, community partners, and the list goes on. Coming down to the end of the year, we get really, really busy with testing. For example, we do testing at BTVI, we do testing at the College of the Bahamas, University of the Bahamas. We do testing with Atlantis, their staff population, and other hotels and partners. They come on board at the end of the year to help get the messaging out there. So we go into their facilities and conduct testings. And so testing for us is ongoing. Once person call us and tell us they have a population in which they want to do testing with, we look at it and then we go into it. We want to say the persons in corporate community and even persons who work for corporate community will call us in for testing. And once we come in to do an HIV test, those results are not shared with your company. Right? Those results are between you and us. When we leave, we take those results to us. We don't even tell the company if we had a positive or if we had negatives. We just thank them for allowing us to come in.
Do they ever ask?
They do. Again, we stick to our guards in terms of saying that, you know what, testing as relates to the law, as an employer, you're not obligated to know a person's status. And so, just sort of, it's not really out of a forceful thing. It's just, how much, it's just simply, trying to know but not understanding.
It's disgraceful.
Yeah. But again, we want our population to understand again. We stick to our guns as the Bahamas National AIDS Program, and we believe in confidentiality at the utmost of the core of our services, because at the end of the day, if persons can't trust us, they're not going to come and access the services. And so I wanted to plug that in there so persons would know if your company calls us in, we're not going to be sharing HIV status with them. And for companies to know when you call us in that comes to do an HIV testing services, that again, when we leave, we take all the results with us. But again, we want to encourage as much companies to do, because guess what? You work in companies, you hear people every morning. I show almost every morning having conversations about sex, having conversations about what they've been doing.
It's wild.
I was doing over the weekend. Yeah. So why not give your persons access to the healthcare services to make sure that they keep themselves safe? Remember now, I always say this to employees. If your employees are healthy and safe, they're more productive, which means you make more money. So why not do it for them?
Yeah.
Is the messaging about living with HIV/AIDS just as strong?
Well, the messaging and also the results. And I said the results, we have less deaths now because of the medication and treatment that are available. We have more patients now that are virally suppressed when it comes to the HIV status. So when you're more virally suppressed, you live longer, you're more productive, makes it a healthy nation, and so forth and so on. And so I always say the proof is in the pudding. When we talk about access to services, all of our patients who access our services follow the instructions of the healthcare providers, take their medication on time and consistently, right? Come in for their doctor's visits, do their blood tests, don't have any major pre-existing condition, tend to live a very long, healthy, productive life. As a matter of fact, the longest living person with HIV in the Bahamas has been over 30 years living with HIV. Right? And to my knowledge, the oldest child we have who was born HIV positive is about 26 years of age.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. Really quickly, tell us about rapid testing, how that works, how long the process is, and how quickly you can get the results.
Okay, rapid HIV testing, back in the day we used to do venipuncture testing. And venipuncture, we take the blood from your arm, send it off to the lab in the week, at least 7 days to get your test results back. Yeah, right?
7 days of hell.
Yeah. Everyone in the house stressed out, don't know why don't know why you upset, right? So now we have rapid testing. Rapid testing is a simple finger prick, almost like when you're doing a sugar test, okay? Once the blood hits the instrument, the instrument takes 15 to 20 minutes to read the results, okay? And so once that instrument reads the results, we give you the results back right there on the spot. So once you take your test, within 15 to 20 minutes, you're able to get your test results back. And so rapid test is more convenient. In terms of persons knowing their HIV status, very accurate in terms of reading the test results. And also remember too, the rapid test is not saliva, it's blood. Okay, so therefore it gives a better reading in terms of knowing the status. Again, as long as you're outside the exposure time in terms of the window period.
So that's why you have such a nice Festivus thing out there at the testing site. So you stick around and wait for your results.
So a person will be able to look at and leave the results on the spot. And again, we talk about access and availability. Access and availability is important for the mere fact that we are busy people. We're more busy now than we've ever been. Understand? And so persons, when you get them, you want to keep them and engage them right there and then to ensure that you give them as much service as possible. And so looking at going into Pompey Square on Friday from 8 to 9, you're dealing with an audience downtown rushing and moving, the constant pace, okay? So you need to be able to keep up with their pace or be able to slow them down while they're waiting for their service, they're waiting to get the results. And so on Friday at Pompey Square, not only would you be able to do your HIV test, you'll be able to get your high blood pressure taken, your cholesterol taken, your glucose level taken. You will also be able to have access to other services that are going to be available out there on Pompey Square. And so we're going to have things available for persons to be able to pass the 15 minutes, to be able to do other stuff as relates to their health and be able to get the HIV results all at the same time.
Okay. And again, Pompey Square this Friday from what time?
From 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We're going to be at Pompey Square.
Okay.
I just was looking at these results here for you guys.
Results?
Yeah. The statistics I quoted you.
Oh, right.
Yeah, they were, I think they were 2000. Yeah, they were 2019 statistics, where we saw a 15% decrease from 2018. And then we just looked at our newly diagnosed was 130, in 2019, our newly diagnosed case was 133 new HIV diagnosed cases. We had 0 cases of mother-to-child transmission. Our mother-to-child transmission rate continues to show good signs in terms of making sure that those mothers who are HIV positive delivering babies, that they don't become infected. And so we look at that. We continue to have a success in that in the Bahamas. I was just trying to find those meals numbers. But I'll share with you at the end of the show.
There were 133 new cases.
It's 2019, yes. Wow. New diagnosed cases. Again, it sounds like a lot, but again, remember at one particular point in time we was in the 400s, then we was in the 300s, then we was in the 200s, now we're in the 100s.
Okay.
So it is our goal with continuing education is our hope and goal to get down in the double digits. And hopefully in the single digits we continue to meet our goals in terms of getting to our 2030 in our 2030 strategic plan.
Can I ask if you track the kind of demographics much more deeper than just male female? Is it like middle class kind of, where are the people coming from? Where is the education penetrating into certain areas?
Not per se in terms of those demographics. If we do, I won't have those statistics on hand.
Right.
But we look at in terms of our general statistics, our male to females, our youth, our young adult population, our older population. We also look at our Bahamian, non-Bahamian population, our family island population, and we generate our statistics looking at those statistics there.
Right.
And you've got a lot of people, we see the ads for it all the time on American television for things like PrEP. What impact is that having on the fight against HIV here?
Well, remember now, those drugs that you talk about, you access them through those particular drugs. You see those brand drugs that you would see in the United States. They are a bit costly. In terms of financing. And so what we have here in the Bahamas, as you know, are a generic treatment, which is just as good as what you would get of those commercials. But the world is changing. Medication is changing. Treatment is changing all the time. One time ago, patients had to take 3, 4, 5, 6 different type of pills. Now, through the Bahamas National AIDS Program, through our pharmacy, you have one pill that may have 2 drugs in it. Right. So as the dynamics change and we have access to medication and treatment, our director, Dr. Nakia Forbes, and our pharmacist, Mr. Stephen Kemp. They do a wonderful job in ensuring that the Bahamas stays as current as possible when it comes to medication and treatment, and how best we can access those medication and treatment for our clients. And so
the generics are available for
free of charge,
right?
Free, absolutely free of charge through the Bahamas National AIDS Program. And even with our dissemination process, when it comes to HIV treatment, we're now disseminating them into our local pharmacies, in terms of our local healthcare pharmacies. A person just to come to us, but they can access them at their local clinic within their communities. And so, a lot is happening within the field of HIV in the Bahamas. We've come a long way, and we continue to move forward. Dr. Forbes has a lot of things that she's having the team work on, and so there are a lot of new announcements that will probably come at the end of the year as relates to testing, making it more available, even looking at different styles of testing. And so we're doing a lot of work through the Bahamas National AIDS Program. A lot of research and development is going on right here in our own country as relates to keeping current with the virus, and being able to ensure that our patients get the best health care. I know a lot of times people see things on television and they call it, is this available? No, is this available? We have a lot of calls calling in about the shot. Can we get the shot in the Bahamas? And no, you cannot get it through the Bahamas National AIDS Program. I don't know if you get to a private physician, but not through the Ministry of Health. Just put that out there. But as things change, we look into it. We look and see how best we can access it for our patients. And if the Bahamas government can afford it, then we make a plea for it. Trust me, our doctor, Nakia Forbes, she pushes.
Wow.
I feel like people used to give out, I don't know, I'm thinking back to my college days. The free condoms were everywhere.
Yeah, we still do it.
Still do it?
Yeah,
Okay,
we still do. We evolved. We give a free female condoms, we give a free male condoms, and we give lubrications.
So there you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we know it's been a challenge for younger people, access to contraceptives. Is that still a problem here?
Not through the Bahamas National AIDS Program, but one of the challenge still remains is myths and misconceptions as relates to the contraceptives. Okay, there are a lot of people who still put condoms in their wallets. Right. Their glove compartments, their car. There's still there are a lot of people who tear condoms open with their teeth and knives and sharp objects and so forth and so on. Okay, and so there's still a lot of education needs to be done. There's still a lot of misconceptions about how necessary to use 2 condoms and so forth and so on. And there's still a lot of people who don't know that condoms don't protect you from certain sexually transmitted infections like chlamydia and gonorrhea, transmitted skin to skin. And so there's still a lot of education, especially within our youth population, about the use of contraceptives like condoms in particular, what they are good for, what they do not prevent, how they should be stored, how they should be used consistently until you know your partner's HIV status. That's one thing. Because you meet someone, you start having sex, use a condom for the first 2 months, and then you decide to get comfortable and you stop having sex, but you never got an HIV test, then why did you start using the condom in the first place?
Wow. All right, so one more time about what's going to be happening on Friday, where, when, and give us those details one more time.
Okay, this Friday again, we're going to be at Pompey Square beginning at 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We take the last person at 3:45 p.m. doing free confidential HIV testing. We're encouraging persons to come down and get tested. Bring your partner, bring your friends, bring your co-workers, even so bring your teenagers. That sounds strange, but no, bring your teenagers. Okay, whether they're having sex or not, or you believe they're having sex, let them see what is a responsible thing to let them go through the experience. And guess what? We found that a lot of parents who have been bringing their teenagers who thought their teenagers wasn't having sex, they were actually having sex. And you should have seen the relief after the test. It's almost like I had one teenager say to me, I can never have sex again. But I said, I thought you told me you wasn't having sex. I lied. But after this, I said, why? It's like, I felt my heart was coming my body. I believe I had something. And I was like, that's the reality. And the reality is you could. Because there are a lot of, there are cases where we have seen right here in the Bahamas, 17-year-olds coming into the hospital with full-blown AIDS.
Oh, my God.
Now, how did you get a full-blown AIDS at 17 years of age? Okay? Or young people turning 18 right here in the Bahamas, and you came in your friend wanted to get an HIV test, but you didn't want to get an HIV test. Your friend you came along with your friend. Your friend coached you to get tested. You got tested. Your friend who came to get tested was negative. You who didn't come to get tested was positive. And you just turned 18 years of age a couple of weeks ago.
Wow.
Wow. Oh, boy. All right. So you've got to know your status. And again, regional testing day for the Bahamas.
Yes.
Friday.
This Friday, 8 a.m., Pompey Square. Meet us downtown. Listen, if you're working in the downtown area, listen, you have the option also. You can come in, you can get tested, you can go back to work, come back to us on your lunch break and get your results. Okay? So if you can't wait for your results, you can come back on your lunch break. Come down, get there 8 o'clock in the morning before you get to work. Come in, let us staff do all the paperwork, get tested, go to work, do what you got to do on your lunch break, swing back, get your test results, and we'll be happy to serve you.
Okay. All right. Keith Kemp, thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much for having us.
Thank you for being here with us this morning. And we're going to take a break and be back with more. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Don't be a fool, please get involved. Watch friend, them will see you fall. Jail time longer than China wall. Whoa, please hold on. Plant your own seed, weep your own car. I'm the driver of the car, I beat my own horn.
Let's lift our neighborhoods today. Give some service, let us pray.
Yes, it's up to you and me to make a better society. Hey, let's
This
get
is
involved.
Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Wednesday, June 28th, 2023. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. And this morning we are talking about a new movie, a local movie that is getting more buzz than Mission Impossible and Indiana Jones. Everybody's talking about The Real Betrayal. And this morning we're very pleased to have the cast, some of the members of the cast, and one of the big bosses with us as well. We've got assistant executive producer Virgil Starr with us, and we have cast members Melanie, Rashad Ferguson, and Trinae Thompson. Everybody, welcome. Great to have you with us.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
All right, so Virgil, let's begin with you. How did this begin? How did this, before we get into the plot and all of that stuff, this journey? Tell us about it from the beginning.
Well, the journey started with our executive producer, who's not here today. He's dealing with the final setup for Friday.
Right.
Emilus Nautilus, Peter. He had a vision of a Bahamian movie, and so it started from an infancy where he reached out to our first, basically, we would say, director, Andre Kemp, and they came up with a script. And it started from there, and it just grew and morphed into what it is today. Mm-hmm. But it started from a vision from Mr. Nautilus. He just wanted to do something Bahamian. He said there's not any Bahamian movies around, so let's do a Bahamian movie. Yeah. And it just started that way. And it
when
just
was
grew.
this? How long ago was that?
This is about 10 months ago.
Oh,
yeah, we were actually filming about 10 months, so the vision started slightly before that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a pretty quick process.
Yeah, pretty quick process. If you call 10 months of filming pretty quick, that's a pretty quick process. For us, it wasn't quick. It was hard because this is actually our first movie project that we have taken on, and it was a lot of work, but a lot of fun.
Can imagine.
It's feature length?
Yes, it is. It's about an hour and 35 minutes of movie.
Okay.
About probably an hour and 40 of just movie, and then the credits after.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so tell us a bit of the plot without giving too much away, and then we'll talk to the cast.
Well, the plot is a Bohemian style plot. Is it is a very beautiful lady. Of course, you can see she's sitting right to your left.
Okay.
She is our main character.
Melanie.
Right. She.
Who does Melanie play?
On the front of the flyer.
She plays the wife of the rich guy that she wants to have taken out. So the plot is basically Samantha marries a rich guy. He has a lot of money, but she has a Bohemian love interest. And she tries to take him out. It didn't work in the U.S., so she brought him to the Bahamas to get assistance from the Bohemian love interest.
What? I just love Bahamas.
To take him out. And from there, the plot begins. So of course, it's a lot of comedy, there's a lot of twists, Bohemian style. And but one of the main things is, even though we have a very interesting storyline with a lot of twists and turns, we highlight a lot of the country. And we was also thinking along the line, this is the 50th anniversary of independence, so we included a lot of sites, Bohemian sites, and we tried to keep it as fun and as jovial as possible. And if you look at the flyer, you'll see it's rated T for teens, which means we didn't go too in depth into graphic violence, graphic nudity.
That's wonderful.
We tried to keep it friendly for anybody from age 13 above can come and see it by themselves, and of course, children can come once they're with an adult.
Okay, so Melanie, that's a character's name, Samantha?
Yes, I'm Samantha.
Okay, so tell us about her and her motivations.
Well, Samantha's just like a very spoiled wife that don't have enough with just the husband. So she want all the millions. She have a special interest in Bahamas. And she try and get her way throughout the movie. She's a very interesting character. Y'all should come and see her.
Yeah. So what was it like playing someone like this? Like, are you like Samantha in any way?
I'm nothing like Samantha. I'm completely the opposite of Samantha in real life. But once in character, I just try to, channel my inner Samantha. And actually, this was my first time doing anything similar to this.
Okay.
So
First time acting.
Oh. Yeah. So I just hope Bahamas come and support this movie. We put a lot of work in it, a lot of passion in it. It's very, very nice.
Okay. All right. Rashad, what about you? Who are you playing?
I'm the hot boy taxi driver to the stars. I'm the one that comes through to pick up Samantha and the husband who has all this corn from the airport to ensure they get around, they see all the sights, different hotels, take them to different places for their memoirs. Little does he know, he'll see.
Okay. All right. And Trinae, who are you playing? Pull that mic over there for us. What's your character?
Well, my character is just a friend that's just down for whatever.
Trapsy friend.
Yeah, I just
Trapsy.
down
You're
for
Samantha's
whatever.
Trapsy friend.
Right. Haley is the name, so.
It's a red gal thing.
just don't leave me out, so that's just my character.
So you're giving her some ideas and stuff like that.
Yeah, but
I got my advice from her.
I just said, just make sure, like city girls type thing. Just make sure you.
So, are you Shorty Low in the movie, or are you Shorty Low in real life?
I could say both.
Trouble.
All right.
Wow. So, this storyline, you all know of stories like this? What? You've heard
That's why
of?
we can be familiar with some of the movie, yes.
Yeah.
Based on true events. Some parts.
That's what makes it so relatable.
It's relatable. Okay, this is.
Sweden is a big part of the culture, apparently, and it's part of.
Getting the mic.
Sweden is a big part of the culture, unfortunately, but that's just how things are, and a lot of people in the world relate to that.
Yeah.
So why not just tell it from our point of view, as it crosses international borders?
Right, and we kept it comedic, we kept it fun, and you will be shocked to find out who the love interest is once the movie begins. It's going to be very interesting. For the cast, we had a story, but as we went along, they would interject, say, why don't we do this and why don't we do that? So
Making it spicier.
so it brought the script to life, sort of. So we kind of went off the script, not too far, but we added a lot of stuff to make it fun and to make it exciting, to bring the jokes and everything in place. So it was a truly good experience.
Wonderful. Tell us about some of the other cast members. Who else is in the real Betrayal?
Well, of course, you have to have gangsters if you're going to do a hit on a rich millionaire, and of course the millionaire, he has his team. He has his crew. He has a protective crew because he's very wealthy. So he has a team called the A-Team, and which yours truly plays one of the members of the A-Team.
So you're also in the cast.
Yes, I'm also part of the cast. So I'm also the stunt coordinator, and I also choreograph. Yeah, and I also choreograph all of the action scenes.
That is no joke. He knows his stuff.
Oh, wow.
Trust me, he's a very nimble guy.
Right, so. Right, so I'm in a lot of the action scenes, and I choreograph all of the fight scenes.
What's your background? How do you know about coordinating stunts?
Well, you met me before. I remember I was here with the National Firearms Association, right? So my background is ex-military, and then I worked for the U.S. government for years. In that field, and then privately, that's my company. I do training for martial arts, firearms, explosives, and so that's my background. I've been involved in that field for 33 plus years.
Okay. Excellent stuff. So we know that you know your stuff, and
yes,
we can expect some authenticity with this movie.
That was what we went for. We went for authenticity, especially with the firearms side of it. So we ran through those scenes over and over and over, especially for those cast members that never had any firearms training or handled firearms in the past. We made sure we did it over and over and over until it became realistic, like second nature, like breathing. And so I had a dual role along with my team, Marlon Young, Guion Stewart, Demetrius Clark, who you know well.
Right.
He's also in the action scenes. He was basically a stunt dummy. He has the body for it. So we threw him around a little bit. So he's involved in it as well. And so he is part of the A-Team. And then, of course, we have Bobo Ken, we have Billy Steels, we have Avatar. They play our local gangsters in this movie, and so we have a lot of extras, persons in bars and things that gave that Bahamian feel and spoke about the local politics and also we have a lot of extras in the movie. And then we went to a lot of the local restaurants, so we have a lot of local waiters, bartenders. You will see all of them in this movie.
Shout out Kimo.
Now, was this filmed all in New Providence?
It was filmed all in New Providence. A small portion of it was filmed in the U.S., but for some scenery, of course. But 97% of it was filmed here in Nassau. All Bahamian film crew, all Bahamian lighting crew, technical crew, writers, actors, everybody 100% Bahamian. Wow. And also we have to give thanks to Pisa and Nautilus. He self-funded the entire movie.
I was going to say, sounds like a big budget.
Yeah, he self-funded the entire movie. But we do have a title sponsor for the event at Atlantis, which is Bahama Blue Water Company. They are title sponsors for the actual event, the red carpet event on the Friday. And it will be a red carpet event.
All right, let's talk about Friday. Let's talk about this. The premiere Friday. We've got two showings even, and he says it's going to be red carpet. Let's talk about that from what people can expect.
Okay, the 6 o'clock showing is an early showing for persons who don't like the nightlife, who don't want to come out late in the evening. They can come out and enjoy it at 6. We will be starting on time because we have to clear the theater for the 8:30 showing. So we will start exactly 6 p.m. sharp. So what we will recommend, if you're coming there, parking is available free in those certain areas of Atlantis after 6 p.m. And they have valet parking. But what we recommend, if you're coming to Atlantis, come in time, because you have to consider the walk-up time, the door time, and being seated for the start of the movie. For the 8:30 showing, we recommend the same thing, because it's going to be a large crowd. We're expecting a very large crowd. We ask persons to come early So you can calculate, if you're not going to valet park, you have to calculate your time parking your car, walking up there, getting to the door, and then being seated by 8:30. Right? Now, we're going to have the cast members there. They're going to have be easy identifiable for persons who want to take pictures with the cast before and after. Yeah, like I said, it's a red carpet. We have a backdrop there. It's going to be nice and classy. So we are asking everybody to come on time so they can enjoy the event. And it's going to be set up really nice.
Yeah. So tickets, if you want to purchase tickets, what do you do?
Well, right now we have tickets at Refined Design, which is on Charles Sanders Highway. And the number there is 466-8387. And that's Refined Design. It's right around the roundabout. Once you're heading east on the roundabout Charles Sanders Highway, it's the first corner on your right. There's a printing shop there called Refined Design. You can purchase your ticket there, and then there's also a place in the mall at Marathon by the food court called The Fork. You can purchase your ticket there as well. Now, tickets won't be available after 11 o'clock tomorrow. You'll have to come at the door.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to remove all the tickets from those sites by 11 o'clock tomorrow, and you'll only be able to purchase tickets at the door if any are left and any are available, especially for the 8:30 showing, because the 8:30 showing is selling out very, very quickly.
Yeah, I can imagine. All right, so what if you can't make it on Friday, but you want to see the movie? What happens?
Well, the movie will be shown again. This is just a premiere.
Okay.
This is just a premiere night. So that's why we wanted to do 2 showings on the premiere night to get persons on the earlier show. And once they come out of the earlier show, the cast will be there. They can do their photos, do their meet and greet. And then persons, of course, at the 8:30 show get to meet the cast before and after, and then we will be releasing on our social media page where the after party will be.
Oh, after party too.
Yeah, there's going to be an after party with the cast. Of course, I won't stay long. I may dance one song and then I'll head out because I'm going to be there from early that day because I'll be in a working capacity the whole entire night, so I won't get to enjoy the movie like the rest of the cast.
But you've all seen it already?
No, they have not.
Only
3 of us, only 4 of us have seen the entire movie. That'll be myself, Mr. Nautilus, and the 2, I failed to mention them, the 2 audio and videographers and directors. That'll be Alexander Kemp, Alexander Barry Kemp, and Jojo. He likes to use his stage name, Jojo Joseph.
I'm mad at it.
Right. They are the 2 editors, directors, sound coordinators. They are working on making sure all of the final touches are done. They're putting in all of the credits and as we speak right now.
Okay,
but
excellent.
Only 4 of us have actually seen the entire movie.
Oh, so this is going to be a real treat for everybody.
Yes.
And that's still that schedule is going to be like a little wait before we get to see it, or how soon if you can't make it Friday?
Well, if you can't make it Friday, we're in negotiations to show it again. And once we lock down those negotiations and we get a date, the reason is a date because right now there are so much short documentaries and movies coming out because of this independence celebration. Dates are limited. So once either Atlantis or one of the other cinema houses gives us a date, that date will be for which, and of course we'll let you know because we'll promote it on your show.
Sounds good.
What do you hope to do with it? After, obviously you want to make some money off of it, but how far do you want it to go?
Yeah, well, this time is no money making. We're going to be spending a lot of money for this for this first evolution for the premiere because we have to take care of the cast because they did such a wonderful job. We have to make sure they're taken care of, and so a lot of effort is going to make sure they're comfortable and they enjoy the showing and at least a member of their families. But we do intend to show it again locally, and we do intend to send it to the international market. Yes.
To film festivals.
To the film festival, and also if we can get any of the media houses in the U.S. and beyond to take it, definitely.
Some Netflix endeavors maybe one day.
Yeah, yes, definitely. We're looking at all of those avenues, and we just want to put it out there first and see what kind of support we get from our homegrown Bohemian family.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So everything is about sequels now.
There is a part 2. Part 2 is already 75% written.
Okay.
Yeah, it's already 75% written. And yes.
There's a lot of plot.
So did he not die?
Stick around to find out.
Stick around to find out. Like I said, it's an action drama comedy, but the end ends in a great suspense.
It
a
has
great
a bit
twist.
for everyone, I guess. If you're into action, if you're into comedy, if you're into just looking and seeing the beauty of the Bahamas, it got a bit of everything. So yeah.
I want to see this fellow who you say built to be thrown around.
Hopefully he's listening right now. All right, so this is fantastic. And if people are listening, like I want to be part of the next one, what do they need to do?
Well, there will be a casting call, as there was for the first movie. There will be a casting call. And of course, some of the cast members you see and haven't seen will be back again for part 2, definitely. So we will need persons, because of course, everybody doesn't live. So we have to.
That doesn't stop Fast and Furious.
Right.
Fast and Furious, you never die.
Yeah,
you never die.
We all family.
you put your head down like the taxi man didn't make it. I don't know.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. So yes, definitely there will be a part 2, and we're going to need cast members to fill part 2. And part 2 is going to be even more exciting than part 1 because, like I said, this part 1 was really a learning curve for us. For all of us.
How difficult was it to find this group? Everybody sighed.
We all just kind of meshed.
Okay.
So we all came to the first casting call, tried some lines, see what fit us most. They had each of us for different characters except Melanie, because but Samantha just fit her. But
she has an alter ego. So
we all just
Samantha.
found characters that fit us. So the casting call process wasn't that long for most of us. Only for certain extras.
This wasn't your first time acting.
Not well in this capacity. Yes, we've done Christmas plays and other little stuff here and there, commercials. But to this extent, no, first time.
And Shorty Low. This is that mic right
Get
there.
that mic there.
That's a whole character right there.
This was my first time, and not lie, like it. I could actually see myself doing this.
The
'Cause
acting
I'm actually
it
in
fit you.
I'm actually in the media field as well.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so it was a
more
great
good.
experience. It was fun. You meet different personalities, and like I said, it was really nice. It was.
How is it? How is it filming around town? Are people all up in your?
Are they
You just gotta
cooperative?
zoom out and be you feel.
To be honest, like everybody, my opinion, everybody was down with it. Like they was supportive.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Well, we got
something,
some
right?
closed doors, and we
Yeah.
got most of them was
Yeah.
open. I ain't gonna
Oh,
lie,
people
most of them
didn't want to do it. Yeah, they wanted to.
some closed doors, yes.
Yeah, okay.
But then most of the local people were very supportive.
Yeah.
We had a lot of local places that allow us to film there and give us the space and time. So yeah.
especially
But-
for free.
Really, honestly, yes, we did
Yeah.
have
It's
a
good
lot.
publicity.
Exactly.
Great, yeah.
Like I'll put in the plug. Shout outs to Kima. Kima shut down their whole restaurant for that first half of the day for us to do the numerous shoots over and over and over. And they took care of us.
Okay.
Supporting the project.
That's excellent.
So you did mostly like closed sets shooting. You didn't have to deal with like hecklers and people.
Not in all of them. And most of them, we just had to zoom up and do what we had to do and get it over with and done. Yeah.
Yeah, most of the sets were closed, with mostly background persons that we picked. But when we went to like public places, like restaurants, most of the people just wanted to be on the camera. They just wanted, they did. Make sure I catch my good side. So if they were sitting at the bar, if they were just moving around, we tell them just act natural.
Yeah.
Don't look at the camera, just act natural. Because most persons just wanted to be in the movie.
Right.
And so they said when they come to the movie, they want to see themselves in the clip. They don't want to delete their scene. So that was a draw. Most persons just wanted to see themselves on the big screen, whether they had a main role, whether they're in the background. So that was one of the things. And we filmed at a lot of local Bahamian restaurants.
Right.
Like he said, one or two weren't open to us, but the majority were. And we gave them good props. We gave them good exposure in the movie itself. And so you would see a lot of local
You
restaurants.
can be familiar with I was there.
Yeah,
I've been
yeah.
there.
And a lot of places
Even if
you
would
would
be curious to know where is it.
Right.
Like, I want to go there. Yeah.
Right. And so we even highlight a lot of the Bahamian food from those restaurants. So we paid attention to a lot of stuff, like I say, Bahamian, because it is the 50th anniversary of independence, and we put big emphasis on the country. So the movie, I'd say the plot It's something to sell the movie, but we focus on the country. We did a lot of focus on the country. So tourists, especially because we know we wanted to sell it internationally. So all of our nice beaches, the water, the fort, the caves, all of those places, right. All of those places were highlighted at great detail in this movie.
Any
66 steps. Come and see.
So hopefully all those extras will come out on Friday as well to see themselves, bring people to see themselves. All right. So one more time, Friday, give us the details. What's going to be happening, the 2 showings.
Okay, it's Friday. The first showing is at 6 p.m. And we are asking persons to get there on time to be seated because we have to start on time because we have to clear the theater for the 8:30 showing. For the 8:30 showing, we're asking persons to get there at least 45 minutes to an hour before because there's going to be a line. So we have to take your ticket, we have to seat you, and then the movie has to start at 8:30. So we're asking persons to come early. If you're not going to valet park, time yourself having to park and walk up. If you're valet parking, it makes it easier and faster, but you're still going to meet that line in the lobby to get in the movie because we're expecting a very, very large crowd.
Okay.
All right. So we're asking persons to come on time because we're going to start on time. We're not starting Bahamian time. We're starting real time because, again, we have a quota in terms of time at Atlantis itself because they have to prepare for our next event the next day.
Right.
So we have to start on time. So we're asking the Bahamian people to show up on time. Yeah. And those of you bringing your beautiful wives and your significant others, they're going to be wearing heels. They're going to be dressed.
I was going to ask you, this is a red carpet event, so dress like it's a red carpet event.
So valet park, please don't have those ladies walking from the parking lot to the movie theater because they want to take pictures on the red carpet with the cast, and the cast is going to be sharp and looking nice. So I suggest that you valet park that car, even if you have to rent that SUV that night and come in style. Please do.
For one night.
And it's a movie, so you got to get your popcorn and stuff.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. So you want to come on time, and it isn't like a setup like the other movie theater IMAX where you can just walk right from the parking lot to the door.
Right.
Atlantis is a completely different setup, and then they have tourists, they have other events going on in the hotel, so you want to come early. I'll say at least an hour ahead to be safe and to make sure you get in on time because we will start 8:30. Yeah. And another thing I want to watch, the tickets are color coded. So if you buy tickets for the 6 p.m. showing, you will not be able to use that ticket for the 8:30 showing because the seats are numbered. And so someone else will be sitting in that numbered seat for the 8:30 showing. Right. So if you miss your 6 o'clock showing and you show up at 8:30, you're going to have to buy or pay at the door for another ticket. If there are any left.
And how much are tickets?
Makes sense.
How much are tickets?
The tickets are $30. Very reasonable. We didn't go too extravagant, even though it cost us a pretty penny to put this event off. We say we will bless the Bahamian people for the 50th anniversary of independence.
Well, when Netflix take it for a couple million, you'll be straight.
Yeah,
Like his spirit.
Hey, right, exactly. And tomorrow we're going to be giving away 2 tickets.
Yes.
So tune in to Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business tomorrow, and for your chance to see The Real Betrayal, 2 tickets for you. So you got to listen. It might be trivia based on what you heard today. Hope you're paying attention. Hope you're paying attention.
Remember the names.
Right, exactly. Exactly. All right, so final words. You got only about a minute left.
We'll give it to our main character. She'll close us out.
Oh, wow.
Melanie. What would Stephanie, Samantha say if she were here?
Samantha would say, come on out, spend your money on your girls, buy those tickets, pay the ballet park, and we see you either 6 or 8:30 Friday. Please come on out, support.
All right, and Rashad, what about you?
As they come out, enjoy yourself, have a good time, party with the cast. I big on partying, so after we work hard, we play harder.
Rashad, say hi, driver, for that night.
and you're not telling us where the after party is. You have to come out to find out.
That will be determined and broadcast very shortly.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Janae.
Well, come out and support the thing, like we out here.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Do it for the low.
And Virgil, you got the final word.
Okay, we want to give special thanks once again to Bahama Blue, who's our title sponsor for the event at Atlantis. They sponsored part of this event, and we are very thankful for and gracious to them. And also, we want to give special props to Mr. Peter Nautilus, who funded this entire movie, and also funded a portion as well of the event at Atlantis.
Oh.
And yours truly that helped in a small way. My portion was very tiny, so I wouldn't even mention it. But We are
You sacrifice your body? What do you mean?
yeah, and along with other things. So just come out and support Mr. Nautilus, a true Bahamian patriot who took the reins of the horns to put up something for the 50th anniversary of independence. Come out and support your own.
Okay, great stuff. Looking forward to it. Melanie, Rashad Ferguson, Trinae Thompson, and Virgil Starb, thank you all so much for being here this morning. Looking forward to The Real Betrayal, premiering Friday at Atlantis Theater. All right. We're going to take a quick break and be back to wrap things up. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit cfal.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
I'm Lasagna Mizik, Managing Director of RBC Royal Bank Bahamas, with some big news that will elevate your debit card experience. RBC's new Visa debit chip card will soon be here. To make things easier for you, we're offering free FedEx delivery when you validate your contact details. No need to wait in line. We'll bring the card straight to you. Call 356-8500. Select option 7 for Visa Debit Direct Line and update your delivery address. Our team is available weekdays between 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Take advantage of the security and convenience of chip and PIN technology. Free delivery is for a limited time, so act now.
Doctors Hospital has reimagined primary care. We have invested to improve our health system, ensuring that accessible, affordable, world-class clinical care is closer to you. We understand that your relationship with a primary care provider shapes the foundation of your overall health. Our new modern primary care facilities are where critical diagnoses and true personalized treatment begins. With locations across New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Exuma, we invite you to experience the Doctors Hospital difference. Book your next appointment at clinics.doctorshosp.com.
The B3As will host the 2023 National Track and Field Championship, July 5th through 7th. Who will have bragging rights when it's all said and done? Stephen Gardner, Women's Javelin, NCAA champion Remo Altamont, or Carifta record holder Kimera Strong, Women's 100 meters, Andronique Strawn, or Anthea Charlton, just to name a few. Mark the date, July 5th through 7th, the B3A's 2023 National Track and Field Championship at the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. It's track and field at its best.
Indulge in an experience that awakens your senses with Nescafe Gold. Premium Arabica coffee beans, carefully selected, roasted to perfection, and finely ground, resulting in a unique and unmatched flavor and aroma that captivates the senses. Enticing aroma, smooth taste. Elevate your coffee experience with Nescafe Gold.
My business couldn't survive without my credit card machine from Fidelity. It's fast, convenient, and my clients love it. My sales increased, and I can track my earnings. Get your credit card machine from Fidelity today. Call 356-7764.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
It's time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. Royal Caribbean International hopes to start construction on its Royal Beach Club, slated for the western end of Paradise Island. That's going to be in the second quarter of 2024. But it first has to hurdle a series of environmental requirements in order to get the green light to begin construction. That's according to RCI's Chief Product Innovation Officer, Jay Schneider. Schneider, speaking at the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce Employees Confederation's Power Breakfast Series, saying that more than 160 people attended the event. Before it has to come to fruition, the next step is for RCI to respond to a series of questions coming out of its public hearing that was held at the beginning of the month. RCI also saying it's committed to growing cruise travel to the Bahamas despite the government's intention to raise taxes on the cruise industry. Schneider, speaking at that power breakfast, saying that the cruise line's announcement that its newest ship, Utopia of the Seas, will feature an all-Bahamian itinerary is proof positive of RCI's commitment to the Bahamas. The country will now have an additional airlift from Seattle and Los Angeles under a new partnership with Alaska Airlines. It marks the first flights for the airline to the Bahamas from its two West Coast hubs, LAX in Los Angeles and Seattle-Tacoma International. NASA Paradise Island Promotion Board Chief Executive Officer Joy Gibberlew making the announcement at the International Travel Partners Conference Destination Update Breakfast at Bahamar yesterday. And for the first time in 4 years, the Bahamas has been deemed fully compliant in the U.S. Department of State's 2023 Fiscal Transparency Report. According to the U.S. Embassy, the last time the country was considered compliant was in 2018. The statement commends the Office of the Auditor General for advancements made in regards to auditing the government. Details on that in today's Guardian Business section. In your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Tuesday, market movers Commonwealth Bank, moving 151,500 shares, closing at $3.59, up 1 cent. Full call moving 20,000, unchanged at $4.50. Consolidated Water up 22 cents, closing at $4.82. And Emira Incorporated up 6 cents, closing at $9.96. The BISX All-Share Index closing at 2,557.26, up 1.36. That's your Market Watch, and that is your Morning Business Report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. And we are back here with Morning Blend Business. We've got 10 seconds, really. Dwight, Strachan, Chester Robards. People asking where to buy tickets. Again, Refined Design. That's Charles Saunders Highway.
Charles Saunders Highway.
And
Charles Saunders Highway, once you come off the roundabout, is to be your first corner on your right heading east on Charles Saunders Highway, and the Fork Restaurant in the mall at Marathon. Tickets will be available at those two locations until 11 a.m. tomorrow. After that, you'll have to purchase your tickets at the door.
Right. And you've got a Facebook page with all the information there.
There's a Facebook page called The Real Betrayal, DA, The Real Betrayal. You can log onto that Facebook page, and all of the information you require, putting the tickets on the event, all of the trailers, cast members, everything is located on that Facebook page.
The Real Betrayal, Friday. Virgil, Melanie, Rashad, Trinae, thank you again.
Thank you for having us.
Yes. Chester, thank you.
Always a pleasure.
I'll see you next week.
Yeah.